While we have this break, let me tell you how you can keep up with all the action every morning as you start your day. About 3 o'clock in the morning, our WBAP news team is starting to put all the pieces together so you'll know what shape your world is in when you first wake up. NBC Network News has been busy keeping a finger on the pulse of the world. David Pinfrock is drinking coffee and reading weather maps so you'll know what the weather is going to be like and how to dress. At WBAP Sports at 6:45 and 7:45. And Don Harris is busy trying to tie it all together with some great music and his own observations about the day. The Don Harris Show is the morning in the Metroplex. Join us tomorrow morning and be a WBA people too.
Baseball is on the air, brought to you by Chevrolet. Like baseball, hot dogs, and apple pie, Chevrolet cars and trucks rank high on America's list of favorites year after year. Buy Champion Spark Plugs. For sure starts and better mileage, treat your car to a fresh set of Champions. No matter what you drive, you can't buy a better plug. And buy Anheuser-Busch, brewers of Budweiser, the king of beers. There's no better way to relax than with the easy taste of Budweiser.
The Brewers have been playing in the cold all year long. Their bats have been hot. They lead the major leagues in home runs with 42 in their first 30 ball games. But according to the players, they've never seen higher than 60 degrees in any one day this year. And even then, maybe only once or twice that hot. In fact, it seemed as though this would be a welcome sign of relief for the Brewers to get into some warm weather. But according to Cecil Cooper, says, I think we're all going to faint before the fifth inning. It is warm tonight. Right now, let's pause 10 seconds. For station identification on the Texas Rangers Baseball Network.
WBAP 820, Fort Worth, Dallas. If you can't be in the grandstand tonight, be at the newsstand in the morning and pick up a Dallas Times Herald Texas edition.
Night here, and Mrs. Betty Looney performing our national anthem. And we'll be back with a starting lineup in 60 seconds.
Fresh new slice of apple pie from your good friend Chevrolet. A car that fits America the way it is today.
As is our way, America. We took a look at where you were heading, then invented an ideal car to get you there. Chevy Malibu, a new size, quick size, mid-size car that's a real kick to drive, with even more headroom, legroom, and trunk room than last year's Malibu. I think you're going to find a large slice of America is going to be moving to the new Malibu.
A fresh new slice of apple pie called Chevy Malibu. Have we got a car for you, America? Have we got a car for you? A fresh new slice of apple pie called Chevy Malibu. It's going where you're going, and it's going there in style. A new size Malibu that's sure to make you smile.
We made Malibu just for you, America, just for you today. It's loaded with fresh ideas, plus that deep-down Chevy value you love. Come on to Malibu, America.
A fresh new slice of apple pie from your good friend Chevrolet. A car that fits America the way it is today.
The Rangers on the field right now, and the starting lineup for the Milwaukee Brewers, leading off at second base, Paul Molitor. Molitor, a rookie, has had a good start for them in the absence of Robin Yount, and he's making his first start of the year as a second baseman. Yount is back in the lineup. Third base, Sal Bando. At first base, Cecil Cooper. In left field, batting cleanup, Larry Heisel. The designated hitter, Ben Ogilvie. In right field, batting sixth, Sixto Lescano. The center fielder, Gorman Thomas. At shortstop, making his first start of the year tonight, Robin Yount. And the catcher, batting ninth, Charlie Moore. And still loosening down the left field line, left-hander Bill Travers, his first appearance since last October. For the Rangers, Mike Hargrove leads off at first base. The shortstop batting second, Campy Campaneris. Back in the number 3 spot tonight in left field, Al Oliver. The right fielder batting cleanup, Richie Zisk. The catcher now with a 13-game hitting streak going, Jim Sundberg. In center field and wielding a hot bat the last week, Juan Beniquez. Toby Hara is at third base, batting 7th. The designated hitter batting 8th, Kurt Bavacqua. And at second base, batting 9th, Bump Wills. And pitching for the Rangers tonight, right-hander Ferguson Jenkins. 3 wins, 1 loss, and 3 starts, all 3 of them complete game victories. He beat the Kansas City Royals on the 25th of April, starting the Rangers' 7-game winning streak. He beat the Boston Red Sox on the 30th of April, the final game of the last homestand. And he beat the Milwaukee Brewers in Milwaukee last week. And Ferguson now, in those 27 innings of pitching, has allowed only 3 runs total, and only 2 of those earned. His overall earned run average in 7 appearances, 2.45. So he's 3-0 as a starter, and his ERA as a starter, .67. Jenkins will face Molitor, Bando, and Cooper as we start things here in the first inning. Molitor, who was playing A baseball in Burlington, Iowa last year. Right-hand swinger, off to a fine start, swings and foul tips this one into Sundberg's glove. He's batting .294 with 3 homers and 17 runs batted in, and he's got a 9-game hitting streak going right now. Jenkins winds up the 1-strike pitch. Swing and a miss at a curveball. 0-2. Molitor was told in spring training the only way he would make the ball club, if he made it at all, would be as a second baseman with Robin Yount planted at short. Here's a little number off the end of the bat, first base side. Hargrove off the bag, feeds Jenkins covering, and in time for the out. Hargrove went about 30 feet wide of the bag that time, fielded the number, hit right off the end of the bat. A little squibber off the first base side. And Jenkins hustled over to the bag, took the throw from Hargrove for the out. 1 is gone, and here's Sal Bando. The Molitor tonight at second base with Yount making his first start of the year. Don Money, who's been out for the last couple of weeks, got a pinch hit double yesterday to win a ball game for the Brewers in Chicago. And he should be ready to go into daily duty again. And if that happens, Molitor just could lose his job despite hitting in the 290s. Here's Bando, 286, 4 home runs, 14 runs batted in. Pitch to him, strike at the knees, and it's 0-1. Fergie coming right out and throwing strikes tonight as usual. He struck out 18 this year and walked only 8 in 40 and a third innings prior to this evening. In 27 innings as a starter this year, Fergie has allowed only 15 base hits. This pitch misses low and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Bando homered against the Rangers in Milwaukee last week. There's a breaking ball at the knees for strike 2 called, and Bando doesn't like the call. Bill Deegan is the plate umpire tonight. Terry Cooney at first base, Al Clark at second base, and Bill Kunkel is at third. Now the 1-2 pitch, swung on and fouled back into the crowd. A ball and 2 strikes. 91 degrees the temperature just a few moments ago. Got a breeze coming in straight in from center field right now at about 10 to 12 miles per hour. But it's a warm one here tonight at the stadium. Shirt sleeve weather for sure. Jenkins misses way outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That one skipped by Sundberg and back to the screen. 2-2. Rangers outfield really bunches up toward left field against Bando, right-hand swinger. Bob Rogers coaching at third for the Brewers, and big Frank Howard, Hondo, coaching over at first base. Now Jenkins winds for his 2-2 pitch. one misses a little bit low. 3-2. On deck, Cecil Cooper. The Brewers have a team batting average of .266. Swing. There's a high fly ball, pretty deep left center field. Beniquez goes back to the warning track. He's at the wall and makes the catch right in front of the 370-foot sign. The wind, we just told you, blowing straight in from center, and the way Beniquez went after that ball, I would have to say that last night, the night before, or any other night in this homestand, that was gone without any question. But Beniquez went all the way back to the wall and then moved over to his right a few steps, the wind blowing it back into the ballpark. So Bando retired. Out number 2, and here's Cecil Cooper. The Brewers hit 4 home runs against the Rangers last week in 2 games. Cooper swings and skies one straight away right field. Zisk now moving in a little bit. He's there and makes the catch. So Jenkins retires the Brewers in order, 3 up, 3 down. Played 1/2 inning of the ball game. Milwaukee nothing, and the Rangers coming to bat.
You know, if you're like most folks, when you leave work, you want to leave work. Just put your workday behind you, settle back, and relax. This is your part of the day. So when you sink into your favorite easy chair and pop open a cold Budweiser, it'll seem like that golden Beechwood aged brew was made just for you. And as a matter of fact, it is. Bud's brewed with only the choicest hops, rice, best barley malt, and Beechwood aged for 100% natural carbonation to give you that easy taste you just won't find in any other beer. That's why anytime's the right time to say Budweiser, especially those quiet moments after work. Yeah, there's no better way to relax than with the easy taste of Bud. Because when you say Budweiser, you've said it all.
After the work is done, while you're still having fun, the king of beers is waiting for your call. When you say Budweiser, you said it all.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
Travers, a young left-hander who's been through a lot already in his career. He will turn 26 next October, and he already has been in an American League All-Star uniform back in 1976 when he won 15 and lost 16 for the Brewers that year with a fine 2.81 earned run average. And he was 10-6 at the All-Star break that year with a 1.91 ERA. But soon after the All-Star game, he had his first bout with arm trouble. Last year, he was troubled with all kinds of arm difficulties all season long and finished up 4-12 with a 5.25 ERA. And then underwent surgery in December. Similar sort of surgery to the operation that Tommy John, left-hander with the Dodgers, underwent to the ulnar nerve, the left elbow. And tonight he's making his first appearance since the last game of last year. Left-hander throws to Hargrove, inside, ball 1. When he was pitching well, they said he had a very good sinking fastball and also throws a forkball. Now the windup by Travers, the 1-0 pitch. That's a fastball that moves in on Hargrove. 2 balls and no strikes. Travers a 3-1 record against the Texas Rangers during his career. Now the 2-0 pitch. There's another fastball, high and tight. Bends Hargrove back. 3 balls, no strikes. Hargrove hitting .237, 4 home runs, 10 runs batted in. Takes a glance at Connie Ryan, the third base coach for the Rangers. Now Travers' 3-0 pitch. Over for a strike. 3-1. Hargrove taking all the way. Travers, tall, lanky, 6'6", 200 pounds. 5th round draft choice of the Brewers back in 1970. Here's his 3-1 pitch. And he misses high. So Hargrove draws a walk to lead things off. And that brings up Campy Cabaneris. That's the 21st time Hargrove has drawn a walk this year. Cabaneris, as we mentioned in the pregame show, got his 600th career steal last night. Campy, also an outstanding butter. This is where he opened up the season in the batting order, number 2, back of Hargrove. In fact, as I recall, his first time at bat this year on opening day, April the 8th, had Hargrove at first base and Campy bunted. Third baseman Bando shortens up. Travers delivers. Campy slaps one. First base side, just foul. Well, that one hopped right over the bag and then foul by inches. It ends up in the right field corner. And the Brewers expecting a bunt, and Campaneris slaps one by the first baseman Cooper, but just foul. First base umpire Terry Cooney right there. So the count 0-1, and now Campy has a look at third base coach Connie Ryan. The Rangers with a 2-game losing streak going right now. The longest losing streak they've had since they had the 8-game losing streak. Now the stretch by Travers. Hargrove leads from first. Here's the pitch. Campy turns to bunt this one. Does bunt it out in front of the plate. There's the throw down to second base. And the umpire at home plate had called the ball foul. Very fortunate for the Rangers, as catcher Charlie Moore had Hargrove nailed at second. And they might have even doubled up Campaneris that time. It's hard to say because Campy stopped running when he heard the foul ball call. But he bounced that one right down in front of the plate. And then the plate umpire said foul ball. So now it's 0-2 to Campaneris, who's batting 167. Campy had another look at Connie Ryan, relaying some signs from the Ranger bench. Bando playing back a little bit at third. Here's the 2-strike pitch. Campy lifts one foul down the right field line. 0-2. Al Oliver on deck. Travers on the mound. Charlie Moore is the Brewers catcher. Cecil Cooper at first base. Molitor at second. Robin Yount at shortstop. Sal Bando at third. In the outfield, Larry Heisel, Gorman Thomas, and Sixto Lescano from left to right. The stretch of the 2-strike pitch. Changes up and misses high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Travers walked Hargrove to start things off. Now he's 1-2 with Campaneris. Campy picked up his 8th run batted in of the season last night. Drove home the Rangers' first run. Now the 1-2 pitch. Low slider inside. Misses 2-2. Campaneris very happy to see the warm weather, as all the Rangers have been. Today might be one of the warmest evenings of all at this time of the evening. There's a swing bouncer back to the mound. Travers turns, goes to second, and throws it away. Oh, hands his face. Travers had a one-hop comebacker to the mound and might have had a double play ball. Turned and threw to second. Molitor came over to cover. He threw it right over his head. And the only thing that kept it from going into center field was that shortstop Robin Yount had come behind the bag to back up the play, and it went right to him. But he had no play on either one of the runners, and that will be an error. Now, we just got a report that they called an error 4. Error on the second baseman. They said they're going to check that one later. I hope they do. Here's Al Oliver. Takes the breaking ball over for a strike. 0-1. Plate umpire Bill Deegan wears the inside chest protector. A lot of pitchers prefer that. Feel that they get a better look at the low strikes without the cumbersome balloon-type protector. Oliver hitting .271. Pitch to him. Turns to bunt. Takes it low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Oliver, 2 for 4 last night. He's now hit safely in 6 of his last 7 games at a .393 clip. During that time, he's brought his batting average up 43 points. 3 home runs, 14 runs batted in. Bando even with a bag off the line at third. Runners lead from first and second. The stretch in the pitch. Curveball popped up. Foul ground, third base line. Bando and Charlie Moore, the catcher, near the Brewers dugout, and Bando there to make the catch. Oliver retired out number 1. Runners remain at first and second, and that brings up Richie Zisk. Talk about a classy guy. Richie Zisk last night, after Toby Harrah had popped out, Richie then struck out, and after the ball game, Richie said, It's my fault we lost. I owe this ball club one. Took it all upon himself. He said there's no way with the bases loaded and one out in that situation that I can't get a fly ball to the outfield to do something to get one run home. Got a whole lot of players who will take that kind of responsibility upon their shoulders. Here's the pitch to Ritchie. Swings and slashes it foul down the right field side. Out of play, 0-1. Ritchie's fighting a slump right now. He's got one for his last 17. And has seen his batting average fall from a high of 330, which he had going into last Wednesday's game in Milwaukee, to its present 288. He's lost 42 points in the average. And this is as low as it has been at any time this year. One strike pitch. Breaking ball, low and inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Zisk, 9 home runs, 27 runs batted in, tied with Butch Hobson for second place in the American League in runs batted in. In fact, in the National League, nobody has more than 27. Holds the bat down at the end, the 1-1 pitch, low and inside again, 2-1. Hargrove at second, Campaneris at first. An error. Travers overthrowing the man at second. I guess what they're going to check on that play is Molitor wasn't over there yet, and maybe there might have been some confusion as to who was going to cover. 2-1 pitch, low and inside, and now it's 3-1. Well, if Travers thought Yount was going to cover, he made a perfect throw. It was right too, Robin, except he was 10 feet back of the bag. So 3-1 to Zisk. The runners lead with 1 out. There they go. The pitch is taken outside. Ball 4. The throw down to third. And the runner calls Hargrove out on a tag by Bando, but it was ball 4. Now George Bamberger is going to come out and have a talk with his pitcher, Bill Travers, as Jim Sundberg comes to the plate with the bases loaded. Hargrove moves to third base. Campaneris moves to second. And Zisk on at first. George Bamberger, who knows a little bit about pitching, the longtime pitching coach of one of the great pitching staffs in all of baseball, the Baltimore Orioles. And he is extremely interested in the progress of Travers tonight. Right now he's got a right-hander, Stein, up and throwing in the bullpen. Randy Stein from Pomona, California. The Brewers will play the infield back, double play deep as Sundberg comes up. Sundberg hitting an even 300 right now. 1 home run, 10 runs batted in, picked up his 10th last night. And he's got a 13-game hitting streak going, during which time he's hit 348. Longest hitting streak of the year on the Rangers. With the bases loaded, Travers will work for the windup. Outfield straight away, infield playing back for 2. Here's the windup and the pitch. Swung on and pop foul back out of play. 0-1. Travers threw him a fastball. He needs strikes. He's not been getting the breaking stuff over. Wind still blowing straight in from center field. Hargrove at third. Campaneris at second. And Zisk at first. 1 man out, last of the first. Scoreless tie. Rangers haven't loaded and still have not gotten a hit against Bill Travers. Travers was going to make his debut last Saturday in Chicago, but terrible cold weather was prevailing that day, and they decided not to risk him in that kind of weather. And tonight should be the kind of night that he could use to get loose. Now the catcher, Charlie Moore, goes out to have a chat with him. 0-1, the count to Sundberg. Campaneris, a shortstop, down at second base. Sundberg, a catcher, up at the plate. Perhaps they want to get together in the sides right now, as Campy and Sundberg could be a pretty good team to pick some off. Now Travers winds up the 1-strike pitch. Fastball tails away outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. So he's gone to the fastball twice to Sundberg. Now ball gets loose in the Brewers bullpen down the left field line. Goes out into left field, so time is taken. They retrieve it out there. 1-1 to Sundberg. On deck, Juan Beniquez. lead. First, second, and third. The windup and the 1-1 pitch. Strike on the inside. Fastball again, and it's 1-2. So Travers working ahead of Sundberg. Rangers had the bases loaded last night in the bottom of the ninth inning with nobody out, unable to bring anybody home. Trying to get that bit of bad news out of the way right now. There's a breaking ball low and inside, and it's 2-2 to Sundberg. Putting that seeming disaster of last night into some sort of perspective, you'll recall the game the Rangers ended their losing streak with. The Detroit Tigers had the bases loaded in the bottom of the ninth and a tie score at a 3-0 count of the batter and didn't score. Sundberg swings, base hit, right field. Hargrove scores. Here comes Campaneris. Here comes the throw. And Campaneris is out at home. The ball is hit into shallow right field, and Sixto Lascano came in charging. And the throw was right there, and Campaneris is out by plenty. He was out by 5-6 feet at least. As the throw was right there by Lascano. And Sundberg now has extended his batting streak to 14 straight games. Hargrove has scored. Zisk goes to third. Sundberg goes to second on the throw. So now with 2 outs in the inning, the Rangers still have a couple of runners in scoring position. And another very hot batter up, Juan Benitez. Benitez, in his last 5 games, hitting at a .450 clip. Mr. Juan swings, liner, left field line, hooking into the corner and foul. When Travers hung up a curveball that time, and Benitez just a bit out in front of it, and hooked it foul by just a few feet down the left field line. 0-1. Benitez got himself untracked in Milwaukee. Billy Hunter put him in the number 3 spot of the batting order last Tuesday night, and Juan responded with 2 base hits. He's had only 1 hitless game since then. 1 strike pitch, check swing, and a fastball pop foul out of play, right field side. And quickly, the count is 0-2. Benitez had 2 more hits last night against Baltimore. Zisk at third, and Sundberg at second. 1 run across for the Rangers. Sundberg now really zeroing in on the Rangers' record for consecutive game hitting streaks, which is now 17. Toby Harrah was the last man to hit in that many games consecutively. So Sundberg can hit in every game now for the balance of the road trip. He'll tie the Texas Rangers record. 0-2 the count to Benitez. 2 outs, 2 on. 1-0 Texas. Last of the first. Travers to the plate. Fastball. He wastes one high and outside. 1-2. Benitez has brought his batting average up from a low point of 171 going into the Milwaukee series last week to its present 233. Picked up 62 points in 5 games. Here's the pitch. High, 2-2. Travers has got a graceful, easy motion when he starts to the plate, and the ball really takes off. So now it's 2-2 to Juan Benitez, trying to bring home a couple of more Ranger runners here in the first. The pitch. Strike 3 call. Got him looking. Good low fastball at the knees. Benitez hot back on it, and Deegan called it strike 3. So the Rangers get a run in the first against Travers. There was 1 hit, 2 walks, 1 error, and 2 left. And after 1 full, Texas 1, Milwaukee nothing.
There are 2 things I remember about 58. I spent more on oil for my hair than on oil from a car. And I bought my first Chevy. It's also the year I started using Champions. Now in 66, I remember 2 more things. A silver Corvette and a redhead named Georgette.
No matter where you are, it's Champion.
This year I got myself a Chevy wagon and 4 more things to remember. Billy Jr., Billy Joe, Billy Jean, and Billy Bob. I've had a lot of different kinds of Chevys over the years, but one kind of spark plug, Champion.
You can buy a better plug for any kind of car than Champion. Champion. You can buy a better plug no matter where you are than Champion. Champion, #1 in the world. #1 in your car.
Did I forget someone? Did I forget Billy Jack?
The Rangers I have a special treat coming up for all you camera bugs out there. Camera night, scheduled for Sunday, May the 28th, when the Rangers play the Seattle Mariners at the 7:35 start time. That'll be on the next homestand. Now, all of you who bring your camera to the ballpark that night will be allowed on the playing field between 6 o'clock and 6:40. And you can take all the pictures you want of all your favorite Ranger players. So make your plans to be here with us at Arlington Stadium on Sunday night, May the 28th, for Rangers Camera Night. And do remember to bring along plenty of film with you. 1-0 score, and Bill Travers, in his first effort in a game since last October, clocked at 88 miles per hour with his fastest pitch there in the last half of the first. The Ranger run will be unearned. Here's Larry Heisel, swings and skies one right up in the middle of the infield. Cabaneris moving towards second base now, and right almost on the bag makes the catch. One away. That'll bring up Ben Ogilvy, and right now let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Texas Rangers Baseball Network.
WBAP 820, Fort Worth, Dallas.
George Goebel says save now on Bemco Posture Mattress and Box Spring Sets at Ballard Furniture, Rockdale, Texas.
We have a winner, by the way, in our Ranger first run contest tonight. The winner, James Dooley of Grand Prairie, Texas. And James will win 2 tickets to the home game of his choice, subject to availability. Here's the pitch to Ogilvy, low ball 1. First run contest is brought to you by the First National Bank of Fort Worth, where everybody knows the First is the best. 1-0 pitch, low, 2-0. You can enter the Ranger First Run Contest by sending a postcard to Ranger First Run Contest, care of the First National Bank of Fort Worth, Post Office Box 2260, Fort Worth, Texas, 76101. Ogilvy swings and fouls this one down toward the Ranger dugout. So the count now, 2 balls, 1 strike. Ogilvy hitting .262, 5 homers and 14 runs batted in. Here's the pitch, swung on. There's a liner, right field, base hit. First hit of the ball game for Milwaukee. Their 1-out single here in the second. Their first base runner against Jenkins, and that brings up Sixto Lezcano. Lezcano got again at .286 with 5 homers and 13 runs batted in. And he hit a couple of home runs against the Rangers last week in Milwaukee. Lezcano had a 9-game hitting streak snapped yesterday in Chicago, but still in his last 10 games, he's hitting .342. The pitch to him, swing and a miss, and it's 0-1. Few ball games going right now in the American League. Oakland 1, Cleveland 1 after 4. Alan Worth going for Oakland. Rick Wise for Cleveland. California 4, Toronto 1 after 3. Brett for California. Garvin for the Blue Jays. Detroit 1, Seattle 0 after 1. Yankees and White Sox 0-0. Here's the pitch. Lezcano hits a high bouncer foul, third base side. 0-2. Baltimore with 2 victories here over the weekend, now leading Minnesota tonight in the Twin Cities, 3-0 after 1. Boston and Kansas City just getting started. The Red Sox went down without a run in the first. And just 1 ball game getting started in the National League. Couple of other ball games later on tonight. The 0-2 pitch to Lezcano is low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. On deck, Gorman Thomas. The Rangers getting a run in the first, had the bases loaded 1 out, but unable to get any more. Billy Hunter said that he didn't sleep too well last night. Kind of a long night after that kind of a game. The runner goes, the pitch is swung out and missed. The throw to second is in time. They call him out. Double play to end the inning. Lezcano goes down swinging, and Sundberg nails Ogilvy at second base to end the second inning. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left after 1.5. Rangers 1, Brewers 0.
Mr. Mayor, our catering service is all set.
Well, we've never had the king of Latvia in Milberg before. We want everything to be perfect.
Well, I'm sure he'll love the bacon sandwiches.
Bacon sandwiches?
With tomato and lettuce and toothpick.
For the king of Latvia, we're having BLT?
That's why I selected Decker bacon. You see, since 1899, Decker has been making the finest quality bacon.
Well, I thought for the king, we'd have a big spread of some
Well,
sort.
I could open up some packages of Decker Franks. They're delicious with baked beans.
What was that stuff you served when Milberg beat East Frampton in the homecoming game?
Patty de foie gras.
Yeah, that stuff sounds like good king stuff. Why
Well,
can't-
I think you'd enjoy something more upscale, sir, and all the Decker meats are so great.
But BLTs and Franks for a big king person just doesn't
Just trust me, sir. People have always been pleased with Decker's quality.
Oh, all right. I'll see you at the country club.
Oh, we couldn't get the country club, sir.
What?
Do you know where Tubby Tucker's bowling alley is?
Oh.
We have alleys 3 through 6.
That place is...
Folks are dedicated to Decker because Decker has been dedicated to quality since 1899.
Decker meats are available in fine markets in your area.
As the evening begins, the Texas Rangers find themselves in 4th place in the American League's Western Division. Oakland still leading by 1.5 over California, 3.5 over Kansas City, and 5.5 over Texas. In the East, it's Boston by 1 over Detroit, 3 over New York, 6 over Cleveland, and 6.5 over Milwaukee. The Brewers are in 5th place. Here's Toby Harrah, takes a fastball away, 1 ball and no strikes. Toby trying to get himself out of this slump. One of the worst he's had. 1-0 pitch. There's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Billy Hunter says Toby's in such a rut right now. Keeps trying different things to snap himself out of it. Hard to pinpoint any one thing because every time he's up at the plate, he's doing something different. There's a let-up is high. 2 balls, 1 strike. Now the windup by Travers. Here's his 2-1 pitch. Swing and a foul tip of the plate, and it's 2-2. It'll be Harrah, Bavacqua, and Wills here in the bottom of the 2nd for Texas. Rangers lead 1-0 on an unearned run in the 1st. It might have been a double play ball. Was turned into an error by the Brewers. Here's a fastball high. 3-2 to Toby Harrah. Still haven't heard anything about if they're going to change that error. They gave the error to the second baseman. He never even saw the ball. 3-2 pitch, pop foul back out of play. I think right now it stands as an error on monitor, the second baseman. The only thing I could figure is that they must have ruled that he got there too late or something, and man's throw wasn't wild. It was just nobody was there. Harris swings. If it's there, it's gone. We'll have to wait for the call, and it is a foul ball. Boy, he crashed that one down the left field line. And that one was about halfway up the terrace seats or more. But it's foul. Now the windup. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swung out and foul back. Toby's really getting a cut at this guy right now. Seems to see the ball pretty well. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Toby Harrah. Well, if Travers could come back to anywhere near the form he displayed in 1976, the kind of hitting the Brewers now have, could really help this club out. 3-2 pitch. High, he walked him. The 3rd walk of the ball game by Travers. He walked Hargrove to lead things off, and Hargrove eventually scored on him. He walked Zisk. Now he's walked Harrah. Toby has stolen 3 bases this year. Correct that now. He's up to 4. He's got 4 stolen bases. Here's Kurt Bavacqua. Harrah has been thrown out only once. The Rangers as a team, 28 successful steals. They've only been thrown out 10 times. Here's Bavacqua. He had a base hit last night. The pitch to him. Low and inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Bavacqua also in a slump before that base hit last night. He scored the Rangers' first run, got a 2-out rally started in the 2nd against Flanagan. Cooper holds the runner at first. Here's the pitch. Swung out and foul back. 1 ball, 1 strike. You may have read in the paper this morning, the Yankees flying from Kansas City to Chicago last night. And according to the wire service story, manager Billy Martin and catcher Thurman Munson almost came to blows. The article I read was rather ambiguous as to just what caused it. Here's the stretch. There goes the runner. The pitch is swung on. Base hit, left center field. Here comes Harrah heading for 3rd. He's got to go home. Here comes the throw home. Here comes Toby. Safe at Bavacqua, and the Rangers lead it 2-0 as Toby Harris scores all the way from first on a base hit. Boy, a perfectly placed hit-and-run base hit by Bavacqua. With Hara running, the shortstop Yount moved over to cover the bag at second, and Hara running towards second, and Bavacqua hit the ball right through the vacated hole into shallow left center field. Didn't even hit it that hard on the ground. And Connie Ryan waved Hara home, and by the time the throw came in, a rather close play at the plate, but Toby was safe. Here's a curveball to Bump Wills over for a strike. It's 0-1. So 2-0 Texas. And again, Randy Stein gets up at the Brewer bullpen in left field. RBI for Kurt Bavacqua, his third of the year. He's at second with nobody out. One strike pitch. Bump swings, bouncer third base side, just foul. Again by inches, and third base umpire Bill Kunkel right on top of it. Immediately called it foul ball. So that's two tonight the Rangers have had like that. Just inches foul. 0-2 to Bump. Switch hitter batting right-handed. 253 batting average right now. 2 home runs, 9 runs batted in. On deck, Mike Hargrove as the Rangers try to extend their lead. They lead 2-0 right now. Now Travers at the belt. Looks at Bavacqua. Looks again, now to the plate. Fastball just a bit high, maybe outside. 1-2. I don't recall, Bill, in any ball game this year, the Rangers scoring a man all the way from first on a base hit. Hit and run base hit. And Hara came all the way around. 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. He struck him out. Strikeout number 2 for Travers. Bavacqua still over at second base with 1 out, and here comes Mike Hargrove. He walked his first time, scored the Rangers' first run. Bavacqua will get a base hit, a single, and went to second on the throw to home. And the RBI. So Bavacqua's got a couple of base hits the last 2 nights. Here's Hargrove. Had his batting average up to 250 the other night. And some tough times the last couple of ball games against some strong left-handers from Baltimore. Here's the stretch by Travers. The pitch swung on. Line foul down the left field line. The count is 0-1. Tomorrow night, 7:35 game time, Doyle Alexander. 3 wins, 1 loss. Will be on the mound for Texas, and he'll be opposed by Larry Sorensen. He looked very good against the Rangers, even though they beat him last week in Milwaukee. 7:20 airtime on the Rangers network. 1 strike pitch. Hargrove tries to drag a bunt down, and it's called a strike. Looks like he tried to pull the bat back. 0-2. Then Wednesday and Thursday night, the Oakland A's come into town. And they might still be in first place. California just a game and a half back of them right now. That'll be the end of the homestand. Here's a stretch by Travers, the 2-strike pitch. Hargrove swings. Lifts one shallow left field. Heisel on the run. In a hurry, reaches down. No, he didn't catch it. He trapped it. Here comes Bavacqua, rounding third. He's heading home. He scores. And down to second goes Hargrove. Hargrove did a blooper out of the shallow left field. Larry Heisel came on the run and reached down, and we had to wait for the umpire's call. Second base umpire Al Clark went out into short left field and immediately ruled the ball safe, that Heisel trapped it, and Bavacqua took off and scored from second, and Hargrove has himself a double and an RBI. His 5th double and his 11th RBI, and now that brings up Campaneris with 1 out and another runner in scoring position. 3-0 Texas. 1 man out of the inning. Here's the stretch and the pitch. Kempe swings and bounces it foul, third base side. Connie Ryan fields it in the third base coach's box. Looks at it, gives it to Sal Bando to pass back to the pitcher. 0-1. So the Rangers off to a 3-0 lead here in the second. Trying to add more. Campaneris hit into a fielder's choice his first time. Now the stretch, the 1-strike pitch. Swung on, bouncer to shortstop. Yount fields it, throws across in time, and moving down to third base, Mike Hargrove. on to the third baseman his first time. Oliver now at 269 for the season. He's been bringing it up very steadily and very quickly the last week or so. Pitch to him. High and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Oliver said that Scott McGregor threw to him the other night as well as anybody's ever pitched to him in his career. Swung on, line drive, left field, right to Larry Heisel, and he makes the catch. Oliver stung it hard, but right to Heisel. So the inning is over. But the Rangers scored 2 more runs. 2 hits. And 1 man left on. And after 2 full tonight from Arlington, the Rangers 3 and Milwaukee nothing.
Cook for quality. Cook for service. Cook Paint. Always quality and service.
Cook Paint Decorating Center, may I help you?
Is there an easy way to paint around window panes?
Sure. Don't be afraid to get paint on the glass. It's easy to scrape off with a razor blade, and you get a better seal between glass and wood.
Good idea. Thank you.
For quality paints and answers to any painting problem, ask the professionals at your Cook Paint Decorating Center.
In Arlington for the good times in 1978, Six Flags Over Texas is more exciting than ever. Now open, the Shockwave is the longest, tallest, fastest double-loop roller coaster in the world, and it's the biggest thing ever to happen in your imagination. And just 10 minutes east is the Southwest's largest wax museum, featuring the famous and the infamous in wax, as well as one of the largest antique gun collections in the United States. Only minutes from the museum, Traders Village, Disneyland, the flea markets, and more open weekends. All this and Major League Baseball, too, for vacation fun. Come to Arlington.
The Rangers out to a 3-0 lead tonight behind Fergie Jenkins as we go to the third. And to tell you about the next couple of innings, here's Wild Bill Merrill.
Thank you, John. Fergie Jenkins stick to a 3-0 lead, as you mentioned. He won over this ball club on May 9th by a count of 7-1. The only run he gave up in that ball game was a home run by Sixto Lezcano. He'll be looking at Gorman Thomas, the center fielder, right now. Thomas hitting at 211, 6 home runs, and 19 runs batted in. Thomas has struck out already this year 27 times and 95 at bats, batting at 167 against the Rangers. Right-handed batter stands in. Bottom 3 in the order. Here's the pitch in for a strike. Over the inside edge, about knee high, and it's 1 strike. Thomas, Yunt, and Moore will bat here in the third inning. Rangers taking advantage of everything to score runs here tonight. Here's the pitch. Upside. The count is 1-1. Same 2 ball clubs go at it tomorrow night. John Matlack will be up for the Rangers, and Alan Worth will be, Doyle Alexander tomorrow night, and Larry Thornton for Milwaukee. There's a strike call, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. And then coming in will be Oakland. First time the Rangers have seen them this year, and Matlack will work that first game for the Rangers against the A's. 1-2 on Gorman Thomas. Fergie all set, and here's the pitch. Right-hander misses just a little low, and the count is 2 balls, 2 strikes. Outfield deep and shaded off the left side, the same with the infield. Buck Rogers coaching at third base for Milwaukee, and Hondo Frank Howard up at first. Here's the next pitch. Just away again, and the count fills 3-2. Travers clocked at 87 miles an hour in the last inning, and Jenkins at 85. 3-2 the count on the leadoff batter, Gorman Thomas. They've had 1 base runner, and he was erased in a double play when Lezcano struck out into a double play. Here's the pitch, swung on, wrapped wide of the shortstop. Campaneris on the ground into left field for a base hit. That's their second hit of the ball game as Thomas collects 1, a grounder through the left side of the infield. Base hit number 2 off Jenkins. He gave up 7 hits in his outing against them last week. Walked only 1 and struck out 4, and as we mentioned, only 1 run. Here's Robin Yount coming on. Been to the plate only a couple of times, has 1 hit, so he's batting at a cool 500. Had the foot problem early in the year and just getting on track. There's a ball swung on and lifted down the right field side. The chase is on, but it'll drop near the Ranger bullpen area for a foul ball strike. 1 on, and nobody down. Milwaukee trailing 3-0. Rangers 3 hits and 3 runs. Brewers have chipped in with an error. The Brewers no runs on 2 hits. On deck is the catcher, Charlie Moore. Beyond a right-handed batter standing in. The infield for the Rangers, set in double play depth. The runner moves. Here's the throw to Sundberg. Should get him. Slides in, and he's out of there. Second man that Sundberg has tossed out tonight. The first being Ben Ogilvy. And now he nips Gorman Thomas with something to spare. So there's one away and nobody on. And the count is 1-1. Pitch for a ball. And Sundberg fired a strike to second. Milwaukee came in tonight having swiped 20 in 28 tries, but now they're 20 for 30. There's the ball socked foul, third base side, and the count is 1 ball, 2 strikes. One and 2 the count. Jenkins' last 3 appearances, this being the 4th as a starter, is wound up in victories. There's the pitch just low. Count levels at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Wind blowing in from straightaway center field, not too hard tonight, probably now about 8-10 miles an hour, and not all that much of a factor at the current time. Here's the sidearm delivery, again lifted foul down the right side, trailing well back into the seats, and the count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes. Game number 29 for the Rangers, and game number 31 for Milwaukee. They lead the majors in home runs, 42 in their first 30 ball games, as a team hitting at 266. Earned run average of the pitching core, however, is 4.37 compared with a 3.47 for Texas. Strike 3 call. Jenkins popped it right over, took a little off, and Yount was caught looking. That's the second strikeout by Berge. They got Lescano back in the second inning. So now there are 2 men gone, and that'll bring up the 9th batter in the order, Charlie Moore. 286 batter with a homer and 5 runs batted in. Has faced Texas only 1 time this year. Without any luck, he takes a strike at the letters. 2 men are out, none on. Jenkins has faced the minimum right so far. Here's the pitch down low, and the count is 1-1, despite the fact that he's given up a couple of base hits each time. Runner has been eliminated, first by a double play and now by an attempted steal. Foul ball cut off of the mask of catcher Jim Sundberg, and the count leaps out to 1 ball, 2 strikes. 1-2. So Jenkins in the driver's seat and the ball strike department. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out with a big curveball. 3rd strikeout by Berge, and he puts Milwaukee down here in the 3rd. No runs, a hit. Nobody left. We go to the bottom of the 3rd inning, and our score, Texas 3 and Milwaukee nothing.
There are 2 things I remember about 58. I spent more on oil for my hair than on oil from a car, and I bought my first Chevy. It's also the year I started using Champions. Now in 66, I remember 2 more things. A silver Corvette and a redhead named Georgette.
No matter where you are, it's Champion.
This year, I got myself a Chevy wagon, and 4 more things to remember. Billy Jr., Billy Joe, Billy Jean, and Billy Bob. Now, I've had a lot of different kinds of Chevys over the years, but one kind of spark plug, Champion.
You can't buy a better plug for any kind of car than Champion. Champion. You can't buy a better plug no matter where you are than Champion. Champion #1 in the world, #1 in your car.
Did I forget someone? Did I forget Billy Jack?
Broadcast of the Texas Rangers baseball games are the property of the Texas Ranger Baseball Network. Any reproduction without the prior written consent of the Rangers Network is prohibited. Radio and television broadcasting rights of the Texas Ranger baseball games are owned and operated by the Texas Ranger Baseball Network, a division of the city of Arlington. General managers, sportscasters, engineers, and directors of these broadcasts are employed and compensated for services by the city of Arlington, Texas. Here's Richie Zisk. And a walk, his only turn, and Travers comes to him. Swung on, driven to left field, base hit like a bullet. So Zisk wraps a sharp one to left field, the Rangers' 4th hit of the night. And in every inning, Texas has been able to get their leadoff batter aboard. That'll bring on Jim Thunberg, who drove in the game's first run with a sharp single, extending his hit streak to 14 straight ball games. And for the third time, we're going to get action again in the Brewer bullpen. Thunberg hitting at .319. The infield set up a double play depth. Travers has not worked, as John told you, this year. He has, however, pitched a lot of batting practice. The runner moves, the ball is swung on, belted by third baseman Bando down the left field line. Base hit. And this goes into third base. Connie Ryan puts on the brakes. Heisel returns the ball, and Thunberg is standing at second with a double. Well, the first two pitches have resulted in base hits. Runners at second and third, nobody down. And coming to the plate is Juan Beniquez, who was called out on strikes his only turn. Base hit number 5 for the Rangers. We were mentioning batting practice hurled by Travers. They tried to simulate a ball game, and he would pitch, and the batters would not know what he was going to throw. However, despite the fact that he has done that quite a bit this year, they were still fearful of his control. And coming into this third inning, he had walked a total of 3 batters, and 2 of them have scored. 3-0, the Rangers with a big threat. The Brewers bring their infield in. Right-handed hitting center fielder Juan Beniquez stands in. So a single and a double. Runners at second and third, and here's the pitch from Travers. High, ball 1.
You know, Bill, in fact, they even had him get 3 outs. Somebody judged him if the guy hit the ball, whether it would have been a base hit or caught. After he got 3 outs, he went in and rested for 10 minutes or so, and then came back out.
Yeah, and then he'd pitch again, just like between innings. Here's the pitch. Driven to the side, the shortstop off of the glove of Yount. Here's Ziskin to score, and Thunberg getting a late start has to hold at third base, and Beniquez hustles down to second. It'll be scored as a double. Thunberg, as the ball ripped off of the glove of Robin Yount, the shortstop, he had to hold up to be sure that it was not caught, and Beniquez, seeing that it deflected away from the glove, Heisel had to come a long way to pick it up in left field. Did so, and by that time, Beniquez, who runs well, was standing in at second base with a double. And going over to third is Thunberg, and coming on to score, the Rangers' 4th run is Richie Zisk. And out to the mound is George Bamberger, and we got a call to the bullpen. So Beniquez picks up his 7th RBI of the year with a 2-base hit. We'll remind you that there is a pause in the action. This is the Texas Rangers Baseball Network.
When you love baseball and the Texas Rangers, you want to know more than the score. Randy Galloway gives you more in the Dallas Morning News. He describes the action so you can relive the victories and understand the defeats. His stories are as emotional as the sport itself. You can feel the excitement, the temper of a close call, the cheers of the crowd, and you're there with Randy Galloway. No one reports the Texas Rangers better. All the things you care about, you'll learn more about in the Dallas Morning News.
The weekend starts on Thursday on WBAP, or at least the weekend weather does. Our staff of Texas-wide meteorologists begin covering weekend weather Thursday morning in the Don Harris Show. David Finbrock has weather for the Metroplex, for North Texas, and sea conditions for the Texas coast. Harold Taft continues to update that information with his special report. So you see, the weekend really does start on Thursday with WBAP weather. Another service for WBA people.
Randy Stein, a right-hander who is 27 years of age, is a reliever. And the first man he'll be looking at will be third baseman Toby Harrah. Left-hander Bill Travers, getting his first start of the year, works 2 innings plus, 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 of which have been earned, and is responsible for the runners Thunberg at third and Beniquez up at second base. He struck out 2 and walked 3. So Travers, lasting only 2+ innings, facing 3 batters here in the third inning, and all 3 wrapped him for base hits, a single and a couple of doubles. So the Rangers lead it 4-0, and while we have a moment, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Texas Rangers Baseball Network.
This is WBAP 820, Fort Worth, Dallas. When it comes to Ranger baseball coverage, the Dallas Times-Herald covers all the bases and brings it home every time.
Stein, making his 5th appearance of the year, has started 1 ball game, Worked a total of 8 innings in all. Has surrendered 9 earned runs and 10 hits in those 8 innings, and a high 10.12 earned run average. Delivers and misses outside for a ball. So Sundberg at third, Benikas over at second. Infield for the Brewers, drawn in tight. They trail 4-0. And Harrah's up there with a chance to deliver some runs. Here's the pitch. Swung on, hit high and deep to right field. Going back is Lezcano. It's deep enough to score a run. Sundberg will tag and come on home, and Benikas moves from second down to third. So a sacrifice fly off of the bat of Harrah, driven deep to right field, produces Toby's 5th RBI of the year as Sundberg tags and scores from third. 5-0, Rangers lead it. That run accredited to starter Bill Travers, and now Kurt Bavacqua, who has singled, driven in a run, and scored a run, will be the batter. Unless we get a change, and that may be the case. Looks like John Lowenstein, a left-handed batter with a right-hander now in pitching for Milwaukee, will replace Kurt in the lineup.
Bill, you know, people ask about the status of Claudell Washington, and he, of course, a left-hand swinger, might have come up in this situation, but Bill Hunter simply said, well, you know, Claudell's just going through spring training right now, and as he lost most of spring training, and the difference between this and spring training is that Bill Hunter can't afford to use Claudell in big situations because you've got some important games in the line. So he's trying to bring Claudell along as quickly as he can, but it's a tough situation.
Certainly true. Still, with only now 1 out, the infield stays in, trying to play for the plate. Here's the pitch to Lowenstein, and he swings, foul tips into the mitt for a strike. John hitting at .375. Got a base hit last night as a pinch batter in the 9th inning against Baltimore, and advanced as far as third base, but could not get home. Up there right now with the runner over third, Benikas down there, and Randy Stein, the right-hander, kicks and fires. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Stein, a pretty good size pitcher, is 6'4", weighs 210 pounds. Right-hander that was signed as a free agent back on January 16th of 78. Pitched last year at Syracuse, where he won 7 and lost 2. Here's a 2-strike delivery, low, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. He also worked at Miami, had a record there of 2-2, so he was 9-4 overall. Earned run average at Syracuse, 3.82. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Lowenstein. Here's the kick and the pitch. Swung on, wrapped foul past the Ranger first base dugout. Caroms off of the wall of the stadium and ricochets out onto the playing field. Chased down there. So John Lowenstein up, replacing Kurt Bavacqua as the designated hitter for the Rangers, trying to get another run home. Rangers lead at 5-0. They've scored 5 on 6 hits. Here's the pitch. Turned that one over, and he runs it low, and the count is 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. This right-hander has a kick similar to that of Dennis Eckersley, now of the Boston Red Sox. Reads the catcher Moore. Now he's set. Here's the 2-2 delivery. Took a little off with a breaking pitch. The count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Wildness made it very difficult for starter Travers, and he was having trouble getting behind the batters, and then the Rangers were drawing the walks and then teeing off. Here's the 3-2 delivery. Whoa, ball 4. He walked him. The runners at the corners as Stein walks the second man that he faces. And that is the 4th walk surrendered by Brewer pitching here tonight. That'll bring to the plate second baseman Bump Wills, who struck out swinging his only turn. Nothing out of 1. Bump hitting on even .250. 9 runs batted in and 2 homers. One of those homers being against Milwaukee. And he has a couple of RBIs against this ball club. Batting left now with the right-hander Stein in there. He was ready to set himself and then steps off of the mound, walks down behind, and picks up the rosin bag. So he has given up a sacrifice fly to Toby Harrah that produced a run. Sundberg scoring after the catch. And Benikas moved over to third. Here's the pitch. And it's high for a ball. 1 ball to nothing. Rangers 2-0. This is the 3rd game against the Brewers this year. Last year they split 10-ball games. The year before, I think it was, that Milwaukee won 10 out of 12 from Texas. Very hard ball club to beat. Here's the runner at first moving. Swung on, tap foul. Up the first base side. Kicking by Fred Koenig, and Cecil Cooper as they pursued it. 1-1 the count now on the batter. Bump Wills. On deck is Mike Hargrove. 3 hits and a walk in the inning. 2 runs are home. Rangers, after this homestand, will journey to meet 2 ball clubs they have not seen this year, Seattle and Minnesota. A move over to first base, stepping back quickly, is John Lowenstein. At the walk, he got down in the strike ball department real quick, 0-2, and then worked Randy Stein for the walk. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Wills. He misses outside. High, 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. The Rangers last night scoring only 2 runs on 10 base hits. Tonight they've scored 5 on 6 base hits. Here's a check on the pitch. Swung on, foul. Back mezzanine area, and the count levels at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Outfield playing bunt just about straight away in all sections. That's Heisel in left, Thomas in center, and Lozcano in right field. Rangers could have had another run except for a fine throw from the right fielder Lozcano, mailing a potential score at the plate. 2-2, and the right-hander throws. Swung on and foul tipped into the net, held on by Charlie Moore, and down goes Wills on strikes. First strikeout registered by Stein. Now with 2 outs, we go to the top of the order and Mike Hargrove.
First baseman, Mike Hargrove.
Hargrove, 1 for 1 tonight. He has walked, scored a run, doubled, and knocked in a run. RBI number 11. Mike currently hitting at .245. He walked to open the ball game for the Rangers in the first inning, came on to score. He's up there right now with 2 outs and 2 on. Here's a look on the pitch. Check swing down low, ball 1. Cabaneras comes out on deck. Nice warm day, and the ball players enjoy being able to get loose in a hurry. 1-0. Here's the check, and now Stein steps off the rubber. His first appearance ever, of course, against the Rangers. Starter Travers has been a very effective pitcher against Texas. Years gone by, 3-1 overall. Here's a check, and the 1-0 delivery. Hargrove rips one down the left side, twisting off foul on the warning track. Count of 1 ball, 1 strike. Mike's hit pretty well against this team, .286. Picked up his first RBI against the Brewers tonight, back in the second inning with a double. That chased in Toby Harrell. 1 ball, 1 strike now on Hargrove. They space a outfield a little off to the left side in center. Here's the look. The runner moves. The pitch is taken, and it's stopped by catcher Moore. And Lowenstein swipes second base. Catcher let the ball drop out of the mitt, could not make a throw, and John is in at second with his second stolen base in 3 attempts. So he's 2-1 in that department. Rangers running well. Check me on that. That's his first steal in now 1 attempt. Here's the 2-1 delivery. Hargrove looks at one just a little high, and the count is 3 balls, 1 strike. So Lowenstein swipes his first base of the evening, or of the year. Runners at second and third. Base hit could got 2 home now. And Bill Stein, or rather Randy Stein, has got to come home with a pitch or put him on. Here it is. In for the call strike. Full count of 3 balls, 2 strikes. Runners will be able to take off and move if Hargrove gets wood on the baseball. Steps out. Now he's back in. And Randy Stein with a full count 3-2 pitch is all set, and in it comes. Swung on, ripped down the left field line, and slices off foul. So again, Stein, with 2 men in scoring position, will have to throw a 3-2 pitch to Hargrove. Benikas over at third base, and John Lowenstein is on at second. 5-0 Ranger lead. Connie Ryan Stein has had some traffic down there at third base tonight, as well as Fred Koenig up at first base. Here's the next delivery. 3-2 pitch on its way, swung on and belted high, but foul down the left side again, and carries back into the seats. For the third time, Stein will have to pitch Hargrove 3-2. Pregnant woman down the left field line that time was walking with her husband to her seat, and all of a sudden somebody said, "Duck." She almost had a souvenir to give to her child there. All right, runners ready to move on anything except a walk. Stein was an outstanding baseball and basketball player when he was in high school. He delivers, and he lost him ball 4, and that loads them up for Bert Cavaneras. That's the second walk for Hargrove tonight. That is the second walk given up by Randy Stein, and that is the 5th walk the Rangers have received from Brewer pitching. So the bases are loaded for Bert Cavaneras. That was walk number 22 that Hargrove has picked up this year. He leads the ball club in that department. Here's Cavaneras. Nothing out of 2. Takes the pitch for a ball. Bert hitting at 163. Hit into a fielder's choice and grounded out short to first. Up there with the bases loaded, and here's the pitch. Swung on, cracked down to Bando. He'll go to second. Molitor covers for the force out on the runner Hargrove coming down. 5-4 for the putout, and a fielder's choice for Cavaneras. The Rangers come up with 2 runs, however, in the inning on 3 base hits. No errors, and they strand 3 runners. And at the end of 3 full innings, our score, Texas 5, Milwaukee nothing. Rangers would like to remind all you young fans that the deadline for applications to the McDonald's and Dr. Pepper Junior Rangers is Friday, May 19th. That's this coming Friday, so be sure and check about that. We'll pass along a little more information for you in just a few moments. But right now, we're ready to go back to play as Jenkins. He's set and ready to work, leading by a 5-run count. Looks at Paul Molitor, the leadoff batter, and he takes the pitch low. Hit the ball to Hargrove back in the first inning, and Jenkins covered for the putout. Jenkins, a fast worker, and comes right back. There's the ball, slugged to left field down the line. Oliver over to cut it off, and Molitor down at first. Hold on as Oliver guns it back into Cavaneras, and a single picked up by Paul Molitor, the second baseman. That's base hit number 3 surrendered by Jenkins. And he'll look now at Sal Bando. He had a fly ball about as deep as you can in this ballpark and still be caught. That time by Benikas back in the first inning. He really hit one deep to left center field. Elsewhere in other action tonight, Oakland 3 and Cleveland 2. That's through 6.5 innings of play. Here's the pitch to Bando. Inside for a ball. California 6 and Toronto 1 through 6 innings. Seattle 2 and Detroit 1 in the bottom of inning number 4. Chicago and New York, no score after 2. Pitch is inside again to Bando, 2-0. Sal hitting at 283. Been a 333 hitter against Texas. Baltimore 4 and Minnesota 2. That's through 3 innings of play. As the ball rolled to the right side, quickly over his wheels. His only play will be at first. And he tosses out Bando with Molitor going over to second base. 4-3 for the putout on Sal Bando. And here's Cecil Cooper, the first baseman. Last inning, Stein was clocked at 90 miles an hour and Jenkins at 88. Cooper nothing out of 1. Fly ball to right field, very high. His only trip up. Boston has scored a run, lead Kansas City 1-0 in the bottom of inning number 4. Philadelphia nothing, Houston 3 after 4 in their ball game. And the other action will be getting underway a little later. That brings you right up to date. All the scores around the majors. There's a pitch outside that Cooper lays off of, and it's 1-0. Cecil hitting at .331 with this trip at bat. 7 homers and 22 runs batted in. Has not hit well against Texas, only 143. Here's the pitch. There's a drive hit deep to left field. Oliver going back. That one may carry. Oliver still on the move. He can't get it. It comes off of the wall and bounds back toward the infield. And coming on to score is Molitor. And it's a 5-1 ball game as Cooper really belted that one high off of the left field wall Oliver gave it a hard chase, but could not catch up to it until it ricocheted back into the left field area off of the wall. Running it down, it allowed Moeller to score easily, and Cooper picks up his 9th double of the year and his 23rd RBI. That's the first run given up by Fergie. And stepping in right now is Jim Wolford. And apparently Larry Heisel must have had something happen to him because he's out of the ball game. And Jim Wolford will come on the bat. Right-handed batter. Wolford hitting at 174, appearing in his 11th game. Lines a single to left field. Here is Cooper rounding third. He'll score easily. And Wolford picks on the first pitch and drives a single over the shortstop's head into left field and gets the RBI single. Cooper scoring easily from second, so quickly it is a 5-2 ball game, and that is base hit number 5 off Ferguson Jenkins.
The only thing I can figure about Larry Heisel, we haven't gotten any announcements about the situation, but he did come in pretty hard after that ball hit by Hargrove and made the dive, and maybe he pulled the muscle or twisted something or hurt his wrist. I don't know.
Probably, because he did hit the ground. We're going to get a little action in the Ranger bullpen. And that looks like Len Barker, right-hander up and throwing. So Wolford lines the pitch to left. Drives in the second run, and now here's Ben Ogilvie. He singled his only turn. Swings, bounces one up first base side. Hargrove comes in, grabs the ball, and it kicks off foul. Mike trying to grab that ball as he lunged forward, seeing that the possibility existed that it might kick off foul, and before he could get it, it did. So it's strike one. Ben hitting at 271 with this turn. He slugged 5 homers and has 14 runs batted in. Until he picked up that single in the second inning, he was nothing out of 8 against Texas pitching this year. They pull him way off to the right side. Here's the pitch. Swung on, wrapped down to Hargrove. He'll go to Campaneris for 1. Campy back to first. Double play. Well, that's doing it the hard way. 3-6-3. And that erases Wolford in the middle. Second double play turned in for the Rangers tonight. But the Brewers do come up with 2 runs on 3 base hits. No errors, and they strand no run. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Our score, Texas 5 and Milwaukee 2.
The day is done. It's time to let it go. It's the moment to unwind. So just say bud. And for the king of beers, and settle back and be yourself. No matter what you do, no matter when or where, you know a glass of bud is like an easy share when you get bud right here. Hey, let me tell you something. Settling back with a long day behind you and a cold bud in front of you, my man, that's living. When you say bud right here, you said it all. Anheuser-Busch.
We were talking a moment ago about the deadline for the Junior Rangers, May 19th. And the first game after you get that book of tickets for 7 Ranger games will be coming up on early June as the Minnesota Twins will be in. Here we go to play, and Al Oliver leads it off. Al takes the pitch up high from Stein, ball 1. Oliver, Zisk, and Sundberg. Remember, those applications must be postmarked by Friday, May 19th, and applications are limited. Information on how you can join is available on the cartons of Dr. Pepper's on your grocery shelves and at all McDonald's restaurants in the Great Southwest. Next delivery missing, and it's 1-1. Oliver's nothing out of 2 is fouled to third and lined hard to left field. Pitch driven hard. Bando with a nice backhand stab. Picks it up, throws to Cooper, and there's 1 man gone. Well, that's the second ball that Al has hit very hard. And Sal Bando, the third baseman, backhanded it, wheeled, and dealt it over to first baseman Cooper for the out. A good play all the way around. 1 for 1 tonight, has walked, singled, scored a run, hitting at .295. Richie leads the ball club in homers with 9, RBIs with 27. Been a .250 hitter against Milwaukee. Pitch comes down, and it's a breaking pitch. Outside for a ball. This the batter with nobody on. Rangers have had runners and have scored in the first 3 innings. Brewers breaking through in the 4th for a couple. Next delivery backs him out of there, and it's ball 2. 2-0. 2 balls to nothing on Richie Zest, Ranger right fielder up there. Next pitch taken away, and it's ball 3. 3-0. So Stein, who gets Oliver on a hard ground ball, falls behind Zest 3-0. Right-hander kicks and fires. This is low, and he walks him on 4 pitches. Third walk given up by Randy Stein since coming on, and that's a total of 6 walks by Brewer pitching tonight. Here's Sundberg, the catcher for the Rangers, 2 for 2. A single and a double. Has driven in a run, scored a run, and currently batting at .315, which is tops on the ball club for the regulars. 1 on, 1 out. Sundberg stands in. Right-handed hitting catcher. Stein works him, and he fouls it sharply off to the right side. Well back into the stand, strike 1. Juan Benitez, Rangers center fielder, comes out on deck. And a 3-scoring ball game so far with a total of 7 through 3.5 innings. There's a pitch that sends Sundberg back. He twists away from an inside fastball, and it's 1-1. A ball and a strike, the infield. Set up and double play up. They've got some young guys, especially at short and second, working in that infield. The runner moves. The ball is swung on a miss. Here's the throw down to Molitor. He puts the tag on Fisk, and he tosses him out. But Charlie Moore tosses out Richie Zest. And an attempt steal, Moore to Molitor. And there are 2 men gone. The count is 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sundberg was kind of a protective type swing just to try to hold up the throw with the catcher Moore, and did not make contact. Nobody on, and the count of 1-2. Pitch is up. Out of the strike zone, the count is 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So a ground ball and a walk. Runner thrown out, trying to swipe second. Here's the 2-2 delivery. Inside with a breaking ball, and it's full, 3-2. Randy Stein, like Bill Travers, throwing a lot of pitches. Rangers have not had an inning that they have not had a runner aboard. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Ripped into right field. Base hit over an outstretched diving fly by the second baseman Molitor, and Sundberg is 3 for 3. 2 singles and a double. Boy, he's been on a tear. That's the Rangers' 7th base hit of the evening. That is the first hit given up by the right-hander Stein since coming on. So the Rangers now have a man on with 2 outs, and here's Benitez. John?
Sonny now 3 for 3 tonight, and this is his 3rd 3-hit game of the year already.
Tell you what, whatever he's doing is sure all right. There's a breaking pitch way outside, blocked by Moore, and it's 1 ball to nothing. So the Rangers continue to get runners aboard here in the 4th inning. From the belt, Stein checks the runner, and pitch comes down, and it's low. 2 balls to nothing. Ball game not moving at too fast a clip. From the belt, a check of the runner, and in comes the pitch. Swung on, driven, foul, out of play down the right side. Count goes to 2 balls, 1 strike on Benitez. Juan has struck out and hit a double. Knocked in a run, his 7th RBI of the year. He's been a .250 hitter against this team. 12 hits in the ball game. Rangers have 7. There's the pitch just outside. Count of 3-1. Benitez takes a look down third baseway to see what Bill Hunter has in mind for him. Connie Ryan puts on the sign, and the 3-1 pitch. Swung on, hit hard to right field, going back as Lozcano looking up. He's on the warning track, jumps, can't get it, bounces away. Sundberg around second, around third. Here's Benicas around second. He'll go into third, standing with a 3-base hit, and the Rangers have another run. A triple for Benicas, his first 3-base blow of the year. Second hit of the night, and both have been extra bases. Picks up another RBI, his 7th and 8th of the night. And Sundberg scores from first base. That's the second runner we've had tonight. Score from first base on a base hit, but this a triple. Lozcano went as high as he could up on the wall and bounced in the wall, came down, and the ball ricocheted away.
Well, you talk about hot, talking about Sundberg. Going back to the first game of the homestand now. On this homestand, Benicas is now 9 for 15, 600. Boy, he's getting that average up there in a hurry.
Really? Here's Toby Harrah, who has walked and had a sacrifice fly driven in a run. Takes the pitch inside for ball 1. 2 men are out. Another runner over at third base. And the Rangers have pushed it across the run so far in every inning. The lead at 6-2. That was base hit number 8. Second given up by Randy Stein. Pitch in for a strike, and it's 1-1. Well, they've been parading some people up to that plate tonight, and all taking their cut. 6-2. Count on Harrah right now, 1-1, and here comes the pitch. Breaking ball low. 2 balls, 1 strike. John Lowenstein is on deck. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Harrah. Ripped to left center field, rather, coming on in a hurry as the center fielder Thomas can't get it. Base hit, runs in. Harrah down to first, holds on with a single, and the ball gets away from the infield, and Cooper grabs it, and Harrah has to hold on at first base. Well, a single by Toby, and he has his second RBI of the night. That gives him 6 for the year as he chases Benicas in from third base. And Cal McLish going out to the mound this time. Have a couple of words with Stein. I imagine he'll try to stretch out as long as he can because they're just now getting Ed Rodriguez, the right-hander, up to throw in the bullpen. Rangers lead at 7-2. Base hit number 3 off Stein. And that was the 9th overall hit, 7th run. And here's John Lowenstein, came on when they changed pitchers and went to the right-hander, replacing Kurt Babak as the DH. And John promptly walked. Hitting at 375, a left-handed batter, and he has Harrah down at first base with 2 outs. 2 more runs are in. And the score 7-2. Stein a look at first. Here's the pitch. Taken low inside. Ball 1. Well, the Rangers bats ripping and snorting. Their high total this year has been 9 runs. Well, they have 7 right now, and we've not completed 4 innings. Here's the pitch. Lowenstein rips one to right center. In there for a base hit. Could get up the alley. Lozcano over to cut it off. John's going to go to second. The throw comes in. He slides, and he is out. The first base umpire made the call, and he was considerable distance away. But Lowenstein singled to right center, sending Harrah over to third, but Academic, as he only got the single out of it, and tagged out trying to make 1s into 2s. Score that one from 9-4 for the putout, and that's the second runner that Lozcano has tossed out tonight. The Rangers got a couple of runs on 3-4 base hits. No errors. They strand a runner. We've completed 4 with the score Texas 7 and Milwaukee 2.
WBAP 820.
Nuts to you from Guys. Guys nuts are the nuttiest nuts in town, with a big selection and a choice of convenient sizes, too. Cashews, Brazil nuts, peanuts, walnuts, almonds, and more. And be sure to try Guys chipped pecans and Guys assorted chopped nuts for cooking or baking. All processed and delivered fresh daily to your store.
Number 5, Lozcano steps in, and stepping in again, John Miller.
Lozcano, Thomas, and Yount against Fergie Jenkins. The pitch, curveball, hit foul at the plate, and it's 0-1. Fergie Jenkins has not worked with any more than 4 runs in any ball game he's pitched this year. And I
think maybe he'd prefer just a... Oh, there's a long drive. It's deep to left. Back goes Oliver. Warning track. Looks up, and it's gone. Home run. 6 to Lescano. It's another one. And it's the second one he's hit against Jenkins, and the third home run he's hit against the Rangers. Well, he stroked that one high and deep to straightaway left field, and back over the wall it went. It's one of those beautiful-looking home runs, high and deep. Get a lot of time to admire it. His 6th home run of the year, and that is the 5th home run that the Brewers have hit against the Rangers. And now it's 7-3, so don't go anywhere. We got both ball clubs putting a few runs up on the board. Here's Gorman Thomas. He singled his first time and was then thrown out trying to steal. Takes a breaking ball over for a strike, 0-1. The games that Fergie has pitched previous to tonight this year have been quickly played ball games. I think the longest game he's pitched is 2 hours and 10 minutes. His first start went 1 hour and 48 minutes. Now to wind up with a 1-strike pitch. Slider low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Thomas hitting .208 for the Brewers. So Jenkins has had a lot of time to sit down between innings in this ball game. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swung on, line to Hara at third. Shot right to Toby for out number 1. Now let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Texas Rangers Baseball Network.
WBAP 820, Fort Worth, Dallas. When it comes to Ranger baseball coverage, the Dallas Times-Herald takes a big lead. Catch it at home tomorrow.
Larry Heisel, we're told now, suffered a pulled tendon in his right knee, and that is the reason for his absence from the lineup. Here's Robin Yount. He takes a strike 0-1. Yount was caught looking on strikes his first time. He's 0 for 1. 1-strike pitch. Swung on, foul back to the screen. It's a pretty tough assignment for this young shortstop. His first ball game, his first starting assignment of the year against a tough right-hander, Ferguson Jenkins. Yount came up in 1974, and he was a very young player. He was born in 1955, September 16th. He's only 22 years of age right now. Takes one in the dirt that skips on back to the screen. 1 ball and 2 strikes. But he apparently tore a couple of tendons in his foot during spring training. That's kept him out of action. He's been reportedly very unhappy about salary negotiations. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Low breaking ball, and Yount a strikeout victim for the second time. And that is strikeout number 4 for Jenkins, all told. 2 outs, a run in for the Brewers, 7-3 here in the 5th, and that brings up Charlie Moore. He struck out his first time. In the Class A ball game tonight, Clinton beat Wausau 1-0. Pitch to Moore, a strike 0-1. And that stops the Clinton Dodgers' 15-game losing streak. And the reason we mentioned that is the 1-strike pitch, over for strike 2. The victory for Clinton tonight was by a fellow named McDonald. He threw a no-hitter, and it was the first game he'd ever pitched as a professional. There's a swing, bouncing ball, third base side. Hara fields it right in the bag, has to hurry, out at first base. So Moore is retired for the Brewers. 1 run, 1 hit, a home run. Nobody left, and we're halfway through it tonight from Arlington. And it's Texas 7, Milwaukee 3. Rangers and Polar Bear Ashburn's ice cream stores have teamed up for the next special gift night at Arlington Stadium. That'll be Friday, May 26th. That's 1 week from this coming Friday. And that is Polar Bear Ashburn's Placemat Night. This is for the youngsters now, 13 and under, who enter the ballpark with a paid admission. They'll receive a beautiful 11 by 17-inch placemat. And it features full-color pictures and a brief biographical sketch of some of their favorite Ranger players. Now, the mats are reversible and represent one of a series of mats available at Polar Bear ice cream stores. So make your plans to be here for Polar Bear Ashburn's Placemat Night, Friday, May 26th. Beautiful items. Dan McDonald brought some by yesterday. Here's Bump Wills, swings, lines one left field, and Wolford is there to haul it in. 1 away. Wills now 0 for 3. Hit that one well, but right to the left fielder. 1 gone. Here's Hargrove. I don't know about your score sheet, Bill, but my score sheet is already a shambles. Yours is too. All right, well, got company. Ice cream stores have teamed up for the next special gift night at Arlington Stadium. That'll be Friday, May 26th. That's 1 week from this coming Friday. And that is Polar Bear Ashburn's Placemat Night. This is for the youngsters now, 13 and under. Go into the ballpark with a paid admission. They'll receive a beautiful 11 by 17-inch placemat. And it features full-color pictures and a brief biographical sketch of some of their favorite Ranger players. Now, the mats are reversible and represent one of a series of mats available at Polar Bear Ice Cream stores. So make your plans to be here for Polar Bear Ashburn's Placemat Night, Friday, May 26th. Beautiful items. Dan McDonald brought some by yesterday. Here's Bump Wills, swings, lines one left field, and Wolford is there to haul it in. One away. Wills now 0 for 3. Hit that one well, but right to the left fielder. One gone. Here's Hargrove. There. I don't know about your score sheet, though, but my score sheet is already a shambles. Yours is, too. All right, well, got company. I wish yours was a little better looking. It's a hard time finding out what exactly has happened in this ball game. Mike Hargrove has walked and scored, doubled in a run, and walked again. So he's 1 for 1, scored 1, and driven home 1, and his batting average, .245. Randy Stein, in relief of Travers, delivers a strike, 0-1. Rodriguez throwing in the bullpen. A guy named McDonald, his first professional start. Class A ball, probably just out of high school. And throws a no-hitter tonight over Wausau. Swing, high drive, deep right center field. Lascano getting over there. Has room now near the 370 sign and makes the catch. So Hargrove has hit it hard in the inning. 2 gone, and Cappy Cabaneras 0 for 3. The Rangers with 10 hits already in the ball game. Stein has walked 3 men in 2 2/3 innings. Travers, the starter, walked 3 in 2 innings. So the Rangers have had a few base runners in this ball game. Cappy bends back from a high, tight fastball. 1 ball and no strikes. And the guy not only gets the no-hitter in his first start, but it broke a 15-game losing streak. Low and inside, 2-0. An hour and 21 minutes to play that ball game. To break a 15-game losing streak, you only have an hour and 21 minutes to savor it. Swing, there's a little looper, shallow center field. Moving in a hurry is Gorman Thomas. Can't get there. Base hit for Cabaneras. 2 outs, and Al Oliver coming up. Let's see if Campy will start in his second 600. He's stolen 7 consecutive bases. He said that the difference between this year and last year, you recall, he stole 27 times, but was thrown out 20. He says he's picking his spots better this year. He's running when he really feels he can get a good jump. Pitch to Al Oliver, swinging a foul to the plate, 0-1. Oliver's 0 for 3 tonight. Has faced this right-hander one time and shot a hard grounder to third. And Bando threw him out. He went 0 for 2 against Travers, fouled out to third, and hit a line shot to left field that Heisel caught. In big league ball tonight, Kansas City leading Boston 2-1 after 4. Detroit 4, Seattle 2 after 6, and the Yankees 4, the White Sox nothing after 5. Kansas City took 2 out of 3 from the Yankees, and Amos Otis got the game-winning hits in both of the victories. Kansas City, when they play those ball clubs in Kansas City, it's a different story. Tough ball club at home. One of the toughest. Here's the stretch. The pitch. Oliver, high bouncer foul, first base side. And the count goes to 0-2. Boy, California was leading Toronto. Yeah, this is hard to believe. 6-1 in the bottom of the 7th. Hartzell came on to pitch in the 7th in relief. Who started that ball game? In relief of Brett. And then LaRoche also came in, and now the wire tells us Toronto scored 9 runs in the 7th. So going to the Yankees, it's Toronto 10, California 6. Here's the stretch. 2-strike pitch to Oliver. Fastball misses inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Boy, a 9-run inning for Toronto. This is the part of the schedule supposed to be easy for the Angels. They lost 2 in a row to Cleveland before winning yesterday. And had just blown a 6-1 lead over Toronto in the 7th inning. 1-2 pitch. Oliver loops it foul. Back out of play. Count hangs on. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2 outs in the inning, and with 2 outs, Campaneris got a single to center. Hit number 11 for the Rangers, and now Al Oliver bats with Campaneris at first at a 1-2 count. Rodriguez continues to loosen up down the left field line for the Milwaukee Brewers. On deck, Richie Zisk. Talking about Kansas City being tough at home. Looks like Toronto might be tough at home. Pitch to Oliver. Ooh, high fastball. Brings him back again. This guy can throw hard. 2-2. But his control's not the best. He's been clocked tonight as fast as 91 miles per hour. Al Oliver. Been hitting near 400 the past 7 ball games before tonight. Now a throw to first. Campaneris gets back. Cooper holding over there. See, we've had 4 spectacular nights for baseball on this homestand. Best place to be, I think, on a warm evening right here at the ballpark. 2-2 pitch. Oliver swings. Swings the ground to the shortstop. Jan Fields goes to Molitor at second base for the force out on Campaneris. To end the 5th, 1 hit, 1 left after 5 full. Texas 7, Milwaukee 3.
Gas yourself. Gas yourself. Look for the V, the bigger sign. Gas yourself. Real fast. Gas real fast, it's what you find. Look for the V, the bigger sign. Gas yourself, come right on in and save your mind. Look for that V, the bigger sign.
Bob Hansen Auto Supply Company reminds you that spark plugs are a bargain. Gas is not. Yes, Champion spark plugs are a bigger bargain than ever because a Champion tune-up can help you save 1 to 2 gallons of gas per tank full. So make sure you get a tune-up soon. Just say, fill her up with Champions. Bob Hansen knows it's one of the best ways to save gas. 2 Fort Worth locations and E.A. Keener Auto Parts in Azle.
You read people, fabrics, and ideas into the fashions the world is wearing, season after season. It's your business. It's big business. And if you don't deliver the goods on time, nothing else counts. We understand. So at First National Bank in Dallas, when we do business with any business, we give you just what you expect from yourself. At First in Dallas, we give you results. Results. The real measure of a business.
WBAP 820.
7-3, the Rangers leading the Brewers as Texas kept off the scoreboard for the first time in the night in the bottom half of the 5th. And Milwaukee now gradually chipping away at that lead. Texas did lead at 1.5-0, but now it's 7-3. And the Brewers have the top of the batting order up against Jenkins. Molitor hits a little blooper towards second, fielded on a hop by Wills. Quick throw, got him at first. 1 gone. Molitor hit that one off the fist, a little looper. 1 hop to Wills and to Hurry. It just did get the speedy Molitor. 1 gone. And here's Sal Bando. He hit a high fly ball that was caught right up against the wall by Juan Beniquez in front of the 370 sign in the first and grounded out to second as last time. Sal takes high, ball 1. Now to wind up on the 1-0 pitch. Slider low, 2-0, and Jenkins doesn't believe that one missed.
11,622, 11622.
2 balls and no strikes. Cooper on deck. The pitch swung on. There's a high fly ball, left center field, very high in the air. Beniquez runs in under this one and makes the catch. 2 gone on Cecil Cooper. The paid attendance tonight at Arlington Stadium, 11,622. And the Rangers now have drawn for the season more than 343,000 this year in 16 dates. So that's right around the 22,000 per game level for Texas. Still well over 100,000 ahead of last year's pace. Here's a change-up to Cooper, swinging strike on 1. Brewers have another pitcher loosening up down the left field line now. Castro. Rodriguez had been up. 7-3 Rangers. Here's the windup and the 1-strike pitch. Change-up just a bit low on the outside. 1-1. Barker still loosening for the Rangers in right field. Now to wind up on the 1-1 pitch. Swung on. There's a liner down the right field line, hooking off into the corner and foul. Well, that one hit the top of the wall down there. People really shot it. Cecil's not having a bad year right now. Tonight he's gone 1 for 2, a double that brought home a run and later scored a run. He's hitting .336 for the season with 7 homers and 23 runs batted in. 9 doubles. 1-2 pitch. Stokes went along the ground to second. High hop to Wills. He bobbles it, picks it up, throws just in time. Got him at first base. Wills got a little bad hop on that one, but protected it with the body, kept it in front of him, and threw out Cooper to end the inning. So in the 6th for the Brewers, it's 3 up and 3 down. And after 5 1/2, Texas Rangers 7, Milwaukee Brewers 3.
Cook for quality. Cook for service. Cook Paint. Always quality and service.
Cook Paint Decorating Center, may I help you?
I've got canvas awnings that are faded and don't match my new house paint. What can I do?
You can paint canvas awnings to match or contrast with your house. Use Cook's latex house paint. They'll look great.
That's super. Thank you.
For quality paints and answers to any painting problem, ask the professionals at your Cook Paint Decorating Center.
Well, I'm the kind of man who does things right. I take pride in my work and enjoy my life. And when I use cement mix, I use Saccrete, yeah. Saccrete will set a post and build a patio. I made a barbecue pit and I was ready for more. So I fixed the cracks in my driveway yesterday. I made a neat flower box, a brand new step, and I fenced off my yard with just a little help. So when I think cement mix, I think Saccrete. You just add water.
Fans, you ever wonder who exactly played for the Rangers back in that 76 ball club? Well, if you had your 76 Texas Rangers yearbook, all you would have to do is go look it up. That's what makes that yearbook such a valuable commodity for baseball fans, and the 78 edition is now available through the mail. And you can get it by sending a check or money order for $2.50 to Ranger Yearbook, Post Office Box 1111, Arlington, Texas, 76010. Richie Zisk pops one foul first base side, and right near the Ranger dugout, Cecil Cooper makes the catch. Zisk retired for the first time tonight, and that foul fly to the first baseman. He had singled and walked twice in 3 previous trips. So Zisk retired on 1 pitch, and that brings up Jim Sundberg. Again, for your edition of the 1978 Ranger Yearbook, simply send a check or money order for $2.50. 50 cents is for postage and handling. $2.50, the Ranger Yearbook, Post Office Box 1111, Arlington, Texas 76010. Sundberg is 3 for 3 tonight, and his batting average at .323. Swung on, comebacker, 1 hop. Stein runs halfway to first and throws him out. 1 away, 2 away. See, this game seemed like it had started yesterday sometime, the way we were going the first 5 innings, but all of a sudden here in the 6th, they're going quickly, and the Rangers have had 2 pitches to look at here in the inning and have 2 outs. And that brings up Juan Beniquez. Beniquez now 2 for 3, and his batting average up to .247. Now that is 76 points higher than it was going into a ball game last Tuesday night. Not bad. 2 for 3 tonight, and 11 for 23 in the last 6 games. Pops it foul, out of play, 0-1. So 3 pitches from Stein in the inning. The Rangers have swung at every one of them. Castro continues to heat down the left field line. 0-1 to Juan Beniquez. And Juan, as we told you earlier, 9 for 15 in the homestand, 600. He's going to streak like Eddie Murray if Baltimore's in. Murray raised his average about 80 points in about a 7-game stretch. Hot back foul, out of play again. The count to Beniquez, 0-2. Tomorrow night, Doyle Alexander, who's won 3 in a row for the Rangers, and Larry Sorensen for Milwaukee. Game time 7:35. We'll have the broadcast for you. All 9 innings of it, pitch by pitch, beginning at 7:20 here on the Texas Rangers Network. So be with us. 2-strike pitch, and Beniquez fouls it back again. And that one reaches all the way up into the 3rd deck, the upper deck. Some fan makes a fine catch of it up there. The Oakland A's winning again tonight at last report. And they're in here Wednesday night and Thursday night. The division leaders. Texas Rangers meet the division-leading Oakland A's. Sounds like old times with Oakland. In a familiar spot in the standings. Now to wind up. The two-strike pitch. Swung on. There's a hard drive. Deep right center field. Lascano getting back. Is there now and makes the catch. Again, right over in front of the 370 sign in right center field. So Benincas hits it hard and goes down, and the Rangers are 3 up and 3 down here in the 6th. And through 6 tonight, it's still Texas 7, Milwaukee 3.
WBAP 820. You know, it's great to have old friends over and get fired up listening to Ranger baseball. But all that excitement can make you hungry. Hungry for a meal that won't take a heap of fixing, like ranch-style beans. Just heat up double portions for that famous, zesty, rich taste. Spicy, but not too hot. Ranch-style beans make a meal by themselves. And don't forget double portions, because that first serving will cross home plate faster than a Ranger circuit rider. That's ranch-style. Ranch-style beans.
Do you cringe when approaching railroad tracks and when driving over chuck holes? Could be your shock absorbers are not doing the job they should. Now's the time to get a red carpet ride during Delco's Red Carpet Days. We're featuring the new Delco Big D shock absorbers, the biggest, most complete line that Delco's ever built. Get Big D shocks at your AC Delco dealers now during Red Carpet Days. Go by Beach Tire Service, Forest Avenue and Central Expressway in Dallas for your Big D shocks and other quality Delco products.
Inning number 7 coming up at Arlington Stadium. And the Rangers leading by 4 runs, 7-3, 7 runs, 11 hits. And for Milwaukee, 3 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error. The Rangers got runs in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the third, and 2 in the fourth. Milwaukee got 2 in the fourth and 1 in the fifth, and that's where we are right now. And Ferguson Jenkins still looking good for his 4th straight victory. But the Brewers, a lot of firepower, so it's far from being over. 7th inning, and here's Bill. Jim Wolford will lead it off. He came on as a pinch batter and stayed in the ball game to play in left field, replacing Larry Heisel, who suffered an injury to a right knee, and promptly single drove in a run. He takes the pitch from Jenkins for a strike. Wolford's not played all that much. This is the 11th ball game that he's been in this year. Strike called, and it's 2 strikes on Jim, to be followed by Ogilvie and Lascano here in the 7th inning. Wolford, formerly with Kansas City. Sidearm delivery. This is outside, and the count is 1 ball, 2 strikes. Stein at 88 miles an hour in the last inning. Jenkins cruising along at 85. 1 ball, 2 strikes on the leadoff batter, Jim Wolford. Again, he looks, and the ball fades outside, and it's 2-2. Jim's hitting at 208 for this plate appearance. Under the plate now 24 times, 5 hits. Strike 3 called. He got him looking. So Jenkins picks up a strikeout to open the 7th inning. That would be strikeout number 5, registered by Jenkins. Called strike 3. Ogilvie comes on to be the batter. A left-handed DH has singled and bounced into a double play. Wrapped one down to first base, and they turned it into the double play. Fergie now, go ahead, John. Fergie only needs 1 more strikeout to equal his season's high in that department. Foul ball, reached far and tapped down that first base side. Frank Howard walks over to watch it go by. So it's strike 1. Frank still walking leisurely along, picks the ball up on the warning track and tips it over to the first base umpire, Terry Cooney. Well, Oakland's won tonight, 3-2. Coleman the winner. He's 3-0, and Wise takes his 6th loss of the year. Here's the pitch. And it's upside and low for a ball, 1-1. Wise now 2-6. Cleveland had a home run from Thornton, and the second with none on his 5th of the year. The ball popped down to first baseman Mike Hargrove. Grabs it. He'll do it himself. Steps on the bag. 2 men have been retired. And here's Sixto Lascano, who has homered and struck out. Well, he struck out into a double play. At 3,000 tonight at Cleveland to watch the A's win 3-2. Lascano pumped his 3rd home run against Ranger pitching into the seats in the 5th inning. There's 3 homers and 3 runs batted in. Overall, he has a total of 6 home runs and now 14 RBIs, hitting at .292. Right fielder is up there. Right-handed batter swings and fouls the ball up the first base side. Strike 1. Well, neither team scored in the 6th inning. First time tonight that the Rangers have been down in order. They got a run in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the third, 2 in the fourth. Haven't scored in the 5th or 6th inning. Brewers
2 runs in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, and that's it. 2 men are out right now with nobody on. Top of the 7th inning. Jenkins all set, and the right-hander kicks and throws. Side-on delivery, strike call. 0-2. Jenkins popping a fastball over the outside edge. Lozcano up, and here's the pitch. Just missed outside, and Fergie thought he had him. He thought he was in the zone that time, but it goes with the ball, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jenkins ready. Veteran delivers low outside with a breaking pitch, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jenkins has now put down 8 in a row. Clock foul out of play. Matter of fact, the last man to reach base was Lozcano when he led off the 5th inning with a solo homer. Dan upstairs making a fine catch of that ball. Counts 2-2 on Sixto, the right fielder. Jenkins all set. Right-hander delivers. There's the ball hit hard. Left field. It's going to be in there for a base hit. Oliver playing it off the wall on the warning track. And his throw will come to third base as Lozcano is then standing with a double. That's his 5th double of the year. Hit that ball sharply down the left field side. Base hit number 7, surrendered by Jenkins. And Gorman Thomas, who has singled and lined sharply to third baseman Toby Harrah, will be the batter, right-handed hitter. Thomas hitting at .216. There's 19 runs batted in. Helped along with 6 home runs. So he steps in with a man in scoring position. The Rangers owning a 4-run, 7-3 lead. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball from Jenkins. Thomas does strike out considerably. And he has been down on strikes 27 times this year. 1 strike. But he also hits that long ball occasionally. Overall, the Brewers now have hit 43 homers this year. Here's the pitch. And for strike 2 called. So Jenkins quickly gets out in front of the center fielder Gorman Thomas, 0-2. A 2-out double by Lozcano as the runner for the Brewers at second base. Outfield way off to the left side, and here's the pitch. Starts to go and checks in time, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Breaking pitch away from the right-handed batter, and Gorman Thomas laid off. 1-2 the count. 7-3, Rangers lead it. We're in the top of the 7th inning. 18 base hits in the ball game. There's the kick and the pitch. Upside again. Jenkins trying to tempt him to go after one of those pitches which is sailing away from the right-handed batter. Now to the strike zone. Fergie takes a little time, takes off the glove, and walks in behind the pitching mound. I think maybe he thought that perhaps he may have had that strike zone on one of those 2 deliveries. 2-2 the count. And here's the next pitch. Swung on a high lift down the right field line. A long chase for this. And Hargrove, it's fading off foul, and no one will reach it. Hitting very near the top of the Ranger bullpen area and then bouncing back. And the count remains 2-2. Hargrove, Wills, and Zisk giving it an all-out effort, unable to reach it. So again, Jenkins will work to Thomas 2-2. Now Fergie pointing to the right field area, and he wants this to play over a little more, not quite so far over toward right center. He's trying to keep everything away, apparently, from this right-handed batter. And if he hits it good, he wants him to take it to the deep part of the ballpark, and that would be toward the 400-foot sign out in center. 2-2 the count, and Sundberg flashes out the sign. Lozcano takes the lead away from second. And the pitch. He struck him out, swinging. Strikeout number 6 registered by Jenkins. The run's a hit. No, that was the man stranded. That's the first runner Milwaukee has stranded tonight in 7 at-bats. We head to the bottom of the 7th inning, Texas 7, and Milwaukee 3.
The day is done. It's time to let it go. It's the moment to unwind. The day is dead. And for the day and settle back and repeat yourself. No matter what you do,
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
Bottom of the seventh inning, Joby Harrell will lead it off with the Rangers. And let's pause right now. 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Texas Rangers Baseball Network.
This is WBAP 820, Fort Worth, Dallas. George Goebel says save now on Benco Posture Mattress and Box Spring Sets at Duff Furniture, Hamilton, Texas.
Harrell's 1 for 1 tonight, a double, and has driven in a couple of runs, or rather a single. Has walked, sacrifice fly, and a single. Hitting at 214. Hard swing and a miss, strike one. Finals then, and Toronto has won over California, coming up with 9 runs in the seventh inning, and beats the Angels 10-6. Moore the winner, he's 2-0. Hartzell the loser, 0-3. Rich, his first home of the season for California. Pitch in at the knees to Harrell for a strike. It's 0-2. 2-hour and 48-minute ball game, 11,000 plus. In Toronto tonight to watch the Blue Jays win over the Angels 10-6. Stein works high and inside for a ball, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. He came on in the third inning. In relief of starter Bill Travers, and has worked since the third. He came on with nobody out. Here's the 1-2 delivery, outside and low, breaking pitch, and the count is 2-2. John Lowenstein on deck, and then Bump Wills will hit here in the bottom of the seventh inning. Rangers were put down in order for the first time of the night in the sixth. 2-2 delivery. Hit foul off to the right side. Charlie Moore trails it over toward the stands, but it's 5 or 6 rows back. And Randy Stein will have to work again with a 2-2 count. Tomorrow night, Doyle Alexander will be trying to pick up his 4th win of the year against Larry Sorensen, whom the Rangers won over last week. Pitched a good ball game. Alexander 3-1 and Sorensen 3-3. 2-2 the count on Toby Harrell, Ranger third baseman, and Stein comes to him. High fly foul again to the right side. Cooper goes over to watch it travel into the seats. And again, Sorensen will, or rather Stein will work 2-2. As for new baseball, Rangers 14-14 have won 9 and lost 6 here at home, while they have been 5-8 on the road. Stein peering into Charlie Moore, the catcher. Now he has his sign, and here's the 2-2 delivery. Swung on, pops him up. Behind the plate, coming back is Charlie Moore. Wind blowing it close, but he's got room and makes the catch. So Hara has been retired on a pop foul. Behind home plate is Charlie Moore. The catcher makes the grab. 1 down. 5 in a row now put down by Stein. And John Lowenstein stepped in. John's 1 for 1 tonight. Been on twice, walked and singled. Also swiped the base when he walked back in the 4th inning. At DH spot, had a man on in each of the 3 times that they were up. There's a strike called, breaking pitch. Babak started there, single, drove in a run and scored a run, and then Lowenstein came on. He walked and a single. 1 strike to count on John. Bump Wills comes out on deck. Overhand delivery is low. Looks like that kind of change-up delivery. Missed low. Bill Castro throwing in the bullpen. Here's the pitch, just outside. The count is 2 balls, 1 strike. I noticed in the media guide that they finally changed his name. It used to always be listed as Williams Castro. But now it's just plain William. That's a long fly ball, deep right center field, way back. Going back is Lozano, looks up, jumps, and it's gone! Home run, John Lowenstein. So the Steiner is 2 for 2 tonight. picks up his first home run of the year, and he hits that one way up in the air and whips it over the 370 sign, and the Rangers lead it 8-3. That was hit number 12. One of the Ranger Farm Clubs took a lashing tonight at the hands of Greenwood. Green won 11, and Asheville won. Lamson was the losing pitcher. There's a pitch to Wills. Misses for a ball. 1-0. So John Lowenstein has cracked his first home run of the year to give the Rangers another run and an 8-3 lead. There's a ball hit to left field. Pretty well hit. Wolford going back, getting there near the warning track, and has it for the out. So Wills going the opposite way, and for the second time tonight, has gone to the left fielder. So he's nothing out of 4. And now there are 2 men gone, and stepping in will be Mike Hargrove. Mike has walked, double, walked, and flied to right. 1 out of 2 with a run driven in and a run scored. He now has 22 walks on the year. Castro throwing a little harder. Outfield playing Hargrove a little off to the opposite side toward left center is the center fielder, Gorman Thomas. Mike hitting at 242, wraps one on the line, caught by Cooper. Oh, a line shot off of the bat of Hargrove, and he just simply dropped the bat and flipped the helmet away. Hit like a shot, but right into the glove of Cooper, who just reached out toward the foul line and grabbed it. 1 run, 1 hit. No errors, none left. We're through 7 with the score. Texas 8. Milwaukee 3.
WBAP 820.
When you're looking for a way to lighten your day, to brighten your day, think of fire. Flying away to the taste of yesterday, the old-fashioned flavor of fire. When the world is grand, a day in the sun is a lot more fun if you try. Floating up on the way to the taste of yesterday, the old-fashioned flavor of fire.
If you're looking for a good auto insurance agent and a good homeowner's agent, and you'd like to find a good life and health agent too, you don't have to look very far. Just call on your neighborhood State Farm family insurance agent.
Brought to you by your Metroplex State Farm agents.
Bob Hanson Auto Supply Company reminds you that spark plugs are a bargain. Gas is not. Yes, Champion spark plugs are a bigger bargain than ever because a Champion tune-up can help you save 1 to 2 gallons of gas per tank full. So make sure you get a tune-up soon. Just say, fill her up with Champions. Bob Hanson knows it's one of the best ways to save gas. 2 Fort Worth locations and E.A. Keener Auto Parts in Azle.
The shortstop stepping in to lead it out and lead us into the 8th inning. Again, here's John Miller.
Okay, Bill, Yount, Moore, and Molitor, the 8, 9, and then 1 spots in the Brewer batting order. Yount 0 for 2 has struck out looking and swinging tonight in 2 trips. Pitch to him, a strike at the knees, 0-1. Jenkins was clocked at 87 miles per hour last inning. Now to wind up with a 1-strike pitch. Changeup curve low, 1 ball, 1 strike. John Lowenstein with his first home run tonight. Lowenstein, 44 home runs now in his career. And he had some pretty good years in Cleveland. 1-1 pitch low, 2-1. Lowenstein, back in 1973, hit .292 for the Indians. And in 74, really, the closest he's had to a full season. He played in 140 games that year. 2-1 pitch, high fly ball up the alley, right center field. Benikas, Zisk, both over, and they let the ball drop between them. Yount heading for third, and he'll stand at third with a triple. Benikas and Zisk both got over on that ball in the alley in right center. And just as Zisk realized Benikas was there, I think was when Juan decided that Ritchie had the beat on it. They've called an error. They call an error on Benikas. Called an error on Benikas. what's happened to the Rangers this year. And generally speaking, any ball the center fielder can get to belongs to him. Here's Jim Gantner pinch hitting now. Swung on, hard bouncer to first. Hargrove over to get it. Steps in the bag for the out, and coming in to score is Robin Yon. And that'll be an unearned run that makes it 8-4. RBI for Gantner, the pinch hitter. Another Brewer rookie who can hit. Gantner came into the ball game, into that at bat, batting .292. So it's 8-4. We go to the top of the batting order, and here's Paul Molitor. Molitor extended his batting string to 10 consecutive games now with a base hit in this game. Bunch of the ball, third base, well, he goes foul, 0-1. So 8-4, been a high-scoring affair going tonight. But from up here, and of course we're a long way from right center field, Benicus and Zisk almost on a collision course, and then Juan looked over and saw Richie, who was looking up at the ball. One strike pitch, hard bouncer, one high hop to Hara, the third baseman, picks it up and throws him out. Molitor retired out number 2, and that brings up Sal Bando, who's 0 for 3 tonight. And Benicus, looking at Zisk, who was looking into the air, intent on throwing the ball, decided, well, Richie's got it. And then Zisk, I guess out of the corner of his eye, saw Benicus standing there, and the two of them let it drop. So it's 8-4. It's to Bando, swung on, hit off the fifth, little looper out of the shallow right field. Hargrove backpedaling, gets there, makes the catch right along the foul line in short right field. So that's all for the Brewers. 1 run, no hits, 1 error, and nobody left on. And after 7.5, Rangers 8, Brewers 4.
High utility bills are a year-round problem. So Hobson Air Conditioning has a year-round solution. It's Carrier's new heat pump air conditioner, the year-round energy savers.
Thanks, AC.
Bill Castro comes on to pitch for the Milwaukee Brewers here in the last half of the 8th inning. And Randy Stein finishes up 5 innings, allowed 3 runs, all earned, 6 base hits. He walked 3 and struck out 1. Stein is gone, and now Castro becomes the 3rd Milwaukee pitcher of the evening. Castro, right-hander, has been in 5 ball games this year for Milwaukee, has allowed 5 base hits in 6 1/3 innings, no runs, 2 strikeouts, 1 walk. So he's not pitched a whole lot in any of his appearances, but he's been very effective when he has pitched. No wins, no losses, no saves. And the new catcher for the Brewers now, Buck Martinez, has more left for a pinch hitter, Jim Gantner, in the top of the inning. Leading off for the Rangers, Campy Campaneris bends back from a fastball inside, 1 ball to no strikes. Campy is 1 for 4 tonight, batting .170 right now. Now the 1-0 pitch, high. 2 balls, no strikes. Campaneris, Oliver, and Zisk, the 3 due up for the Rangers. And as Texas has a 4-run lead here in the 8th. Now the 2-0 pitch, swung on, sprayed to the ground to second. High hop to Molitor, picks it up and throws him out. Campaneris out number 1. And that brings up Al Oliver. Oliver 0 for 4 tonight, so he's looking for a base hit. And a couple of home runs tonight, 1 by each club. Here's the pitch to Oliver, outside, ball 1. Rangers have hit a home run, 3 doubles, and a triple in this ball game. 1-0 pitch, swung on, high bouncer, right side of the infield. Cooper backs up for it. Fields throws to Castro, covering, and he drops the ball. Oliver safe at first. Cooper started backpedaling in that high bouncer and was actually on the edge of the outfield grass when he fielded it, and he threw the ball to Castro, and they're going to give Castro an error for dropping it. And in fact, the first baseman will get an assist in the play, and I thought the throw wasn't all that great. Although it was in his glove, he should have held on to it, I guess. But 1 man is out, and now Oliver's on at first. Give the error to the pitcher. Second Brewer error. The Rangers Rangers have won. Here's Richie Zisk. Richie 1 for 2 with 2 walks. Pitch. High. Ball 1. Richie batting .295 right now. Came into the game 1 for his last 17. And his base hit in the third started a Ranger 2-run rally. The pitch. Swung on. Hard bouncer left side of the infield. Bando has it bounce off his glove. And all hands are safe. Bouncing ball headed toward the shortstop. Bando cut across to his left and tried to short hop it. And they're going to give Richie Zisk a base hit on it. Well, Richie isn't the fastest man in the world, but if the shortstop had played that one, he was going to have to hurry. And Bando going far to his left and then having to short hop the ball. If he'd made the play, it would have been a good big league play. But giving Zisk a hit, that's 13 hits for the Rangers. And here's Jim Sundberg, 3 for 4 tonight, and he's batting .323. Takes a strike on the inside, 0-1. Looks like a sinker ball. Seems to me Sundberg was hitting .323 the last time he was up. Scoreboard's been off a couple of times tonight, I think. There's the one strike pitch. Swung on, sprayed on the ground, right side of the infield. To his left, his monitor has to go to first in time to get Sundberg. But moving down to third base, Al Oliver, and over to second goes Richie Zisk. So Sundberg moves them both along and has a 3 for 5 night going. 2 runs scored, a run batted in, and a double. Here's Juan Beniquez, and Juan is 2 for 4. 9 for his last 16 now, and 11 for his last 24. I think the scoreboard computer just isn't working at all right now. So they got the same batting average for Beniquez now that they had the last time he was up. And he went out his last time up. Somewhere in that neighborhood anyway, 247. From the stretch, here's the pitch. Beniquez swings, high drive, left center field, over is Wilford, and makes the catch. Beniquez stung it pretty well, but the left fielder able to grab it. So in the 8th inning for the Rangers, no runs, 1 hit, 1 error, and 2 runners left on base. And we're going to the 9th. The score, Texas 8, Milwaukee 4.
WBAP 820.
Have we got a wagon for you, America? The name is Malibu, and it's chock full of new. Crisp new looks, trim new size, and a handy new 2-way hatchgate you're just gonna love. It's a wagon for America the way we are today. Slim on the outside, but roomy on the inside, with lots and lots of load space, plus some hidden storage, too. And you know what else, America? You're going to find it's a real kick to drive, and no trick at all to slip into those stingy little parking places. Some wagons would have to pass right by. Sound good? You better believe it. Stop by your local Chevrolet wagon stop and see what Chevy's serving up.
In the 9th inning, the Rangers go to the bullpen. Len Barker comes on to get some work in relief of Ferguson Jenkins. So Jenkins goes 8 full innings, allows 4 runs, 3 of them earned, on 7 base hits. Did not walk anybody, and struck out 6. And I don't know if Fergie may have been tiring. Game time temperature was 91 degrees, and it hasn't cooled off a whole lot since that time. Maybe he got a little tired. On the other hand, maybe Billy Hunter with a 4-run lead in the 9th just wants to get his young right-hander some work in the ball game right now. So Len Barker comes on to pitch, and he'll face Cecil Cooper, Jim Wolford, and Ben Ogilvie. So he's got some tough hitters to face. This is the 7th appearance of the year for Barker. 1 win, 2 losses, and 1 save, and a 4.09 ERA. And he has not worked in more than a week. Here's the pitch. Cooper takes low, ball 1. Barker's last appearance against the Yankees at Yankee Stadium a week ago Sunday. Gave up a home run to Chris Chambliss in the 12th inning and lost that one. Now the 1-0 pitch. Fastball, high and tight, bends him back. 2 balls, no strikes. Jenkins was clocked at 86 miles per hour with his fastest pitch last inning, so that was pretty consistent with his speed throughout the night, which is low. Now it's 3-0. Barker, big problem, control. In 11 innings this year, he's allowed 10 base hits and has walked 6 and struck out 6. So he's behind the batter here, 3-0. Now to wind up the pitch to Cooper. He lost him. Walked him on 4 pitches. Those are especially troublesome when you have a 4-run lead in the 9th inning. What you want to do primarily is throw strikes. Everything is going your way. Now Campaneris in to have a chat with Barker. The batter is Jim Wolford. He came on when Larry Heisel stretched some ligaments, apparently, in his knee. And he left after batting only 1 time. Wolford singled home run his first at bat of the 4th and then struck out looking his last time. He takes a strike. Wolford batting at 208 right now. That RBI gives him 6 runs batted in this year, and he's had only 5 base hits. 5 for 25, so that'd be 200. 1 strike pitch. Check swing. And it's a strike. 0-2. Lead umpire Bill Deegan waited. Looked around, and one of the other umpires helped him out of that one. 0-2, the count to Wolford. Cecil Cooper at first base. Nobody out. 8-4 Rangers in the 9th. The pitch. Overhand breaking ball. Bitch low in the 3rd. Sundberg blocks it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Again tomorrow night here. Same 2 ball clubs. Had a freewheeling, entertaining ball game tonight. A lot of runs. 8-4 ball game. 12 runs, 20 hits. And a couple of home runs. A lot of extra base hits. 1-2 pitch. Swung on and lifted foul down the right field line. Out of play. 1-2. Brewers have had a home run and 2 doubles for extra base blows. The Rangers have had a home run, 3 doubles, and a triple. So we've had 8 extra base hits tonight. 2 homers, 4 doubles, 5 doubles, and a triple. The stretch, the 1-2 pitch. Check swing, come back here to the mound. Barker bobbles the ball. Picks it up, goes to first, and throws it all away. Down the right field line. Here comes Cooper rounding 3rd. He's heading home. Itchy's this, picks the ball up, throws it home, not near in time. Ready. 3 home runs against him. Now Hara has a talk with Barker. See, that one started out as a blunder. As Wolford checked his swing, the ball hit off the bat toward Barker. Might have even had a chance to get the lead runner. Probably would have. But then never picked up the ball. Going to make that move before he had it, dropped it, picked it up, and then threw the ball well over the head of Hargrove at first. Here's the pitch. High and away. 1 ball to no strikes. Ogilvy, 1 for 3, is singled, hit into a double play, and then grounded out to first. And Ogilvy has some pretty good power. 5 home runs, 14 runs batted in. 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss. 1-1. Got that ball down. Left-hander Paul Lindblad up in the Rangers bullpen, and right-hander Reggie Cleveland. 8-5 is the score here. 4 errors now in this ball game. Now the stretch by Barker. Runner leads from second. 1-1 pitch. Over the top of the fastball, too high. 2-1. Six still left, Scano on deck. Then Gorman Thomas. A lot of home runs still coming up for the Brewers. The stretch. The look at second, the 2-1 pitch. Swung on and foul back. That one is just below us. Into the crowd and the mezzanine. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The count to Ben Ogilvy. Batting in the 9th. Rangers have led by as many as 5 runs in this ball game. Leading by 3 right now. Runner at second, nobody out of the 9th. The stretch by Barker. 2-2 pitch, swung on, popped up, foul, back out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Ogilvy. Off-season acquisition from the Detroit Tigers. They sent Jim Slayton, right-hand pitcher, to Detroit in exchange for Ogilvy. One of the many reasons why this batting order is so strong. Now again, Barker at the belt. 2-2 pitch, swung on, high fly ball down the left field line, and that one's going to be foul. So Ogilvy's making Barker work. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Milwaukee, coming into the ball game tonight, had been averaging almost 5.5 runs per game. They've had 97 extra base hits. They're averaging more than 3 extra base hits every game, just on the average. 2-2 pitch, swung on, bouncing ball to second. Bump Wills goes down to one knee, Fields throws and gets him. Oglivie retired, and Wolford goes down to third base. So one man is out, and that brings up Sixto Lezcano. Lezcano struck out into a double play back in the second. When he struck out, Jim Sundberg threw Oglivie out, trying to steal at second base. But then Lezcano homered in the 5th and doubled in the 7th. He's now hit 3 homers against Texas pitching. Lezcano is now 6 for 11 against Ranger pitching. 3 homers and 3 RBIs. 6 for 11. He's worn them out. On deck, Gorman Thomas. Barker from the stretch, delivers in the dirt, gets by Sundberg, goes back to the screen, and inning to score is Wolford, and it's 8-6. Fans getting on Barker now as Glenn has come on here in the 9th inning and virtually thrown away 2 runs. Barker, 22 years of age, young pitcher. Now Mike Hargrove walks out, puts his hand at his back, tells him settle down. There's nobody on the bases now. Just get the final 2 outs, and we're all set. No problem. That pitch bounced a couple feet in front of the plate. It looked like it hit Sundberg on the left arm. Back to the screen. There's the pitch at the knees for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. So 2 runs in the inning. Cooper led off with a walk. Wolford hit back to Barker, who threw it down the right field line, scoring Cooper. Swing and a miss. He blew it by him. 1-2. And then Oglivie sent Wolford to third with an infield out, and now he's scored on a wild pitch. Now the windup and the 1-2 pitch to Lezcano. Curveball, strike 3 call. It got him looking. Now Lezcano stays at the plate to argue with plate umpire Bill Deegan. Lezcano shaking his head as he tells Deegan where that one was. Let's pause now. 10 seconds for station identification on the Texas Rangers Baseball Network.
WBAP 820, Fort Worth, Dallas. If you can't be in the grandstand tonight, be at the newsstand in the morning and pick up a Dallas Times-Herald Texas edition.
Here's another free swinger for the Brewers, Gorman Thomas. He hits a lot of home runs, and he strikes out a lot. Pitch to him. Fastball low and inside. 1 ball and no strikes. 8-6 ball game. The Brewers and the Rangers playing a high-scoring affair. This is the 2nd highest run total of the season for Texas. They've gotten 9 a couple of times. Pitch low, 2-0. On deck, Robin Yount. Thomas apparently has a pretty good eye. He's walked 20 times this year, but he's struck out 28 times. Now the windup and the 2-0 pitch in the dirt. 3 balls, no strikes. Now, if Thomas gets on the bases here, Robin Yount, the next batter, would represent the potential tying run in the ball game. And Sundberg goes out to talk to Len Barker. Rangers got a single run in the 1st, 2 more in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Brewers got 2 in the 4th, and it was 7-2, then 7-3 after 5, 8-3 after 7, 8-4 after 8, and it's 8-6 right now in the 9th. Here's the 3-0 pitch, and he walked him on 4. And Billy Hunter comes out of the dugout. Barker walks his 2nd man of the inning, and Hunter's made the call for Reggie Cleveland from the bullpen. Reggie Cleveland comes walking in from the right field bullpen and to replace Len Barker. And for Len Barker, a disastrous outing here. He goes 2/3 of an inning and has allowed no hits, but he's walked 2. He has thrown 1 ball away for an error that allowed a run to score. And he has thrown a wild pitch to allow the other run of the inning to score. So 2 walks, a throwing error, and a wild pitch here in the inning. And for Barker, pretty tough time of it. Robin Yount will come up to the plate representing the potential tying run for the Milwaukee Brewers, and Reggie Cleveland comes on. Reggie, who's become a bellwether of the bullpen for the Texas Rangers. He's really done a job for them out there. He is making his 6th relief appearance for Texas, and he got his first save of the year in his last appearance against Milwaukee, and that was last Wednesday night in Milwaukee. In relief of Doyle Alexander, he came on with a 4-3 score, and he went the final 2 2/3 innings, allowed 2 base hits, and struck out 4 men. Preserved the victory for Doyle and got his first save. And with Texas now, he's won 1 and lost 1 in 5 appearances at a 2.89 earned run average. And for the season, he has 1 and 2 at a 2.79 ERA. He made 1 appearance this year for the Boston Red Sox and picked up a loss on an unearned run. So Reggie Cleveland comes on to pitch for the Texas Rangers. Reggie now 9 2/3 innings for the season. Has 9 strikeouts and only 1 walk, so he's been throwing strikes. Robin Yount struck out twice and been safe in an error by the center fielder. Yount hit just a few home runs last year, not a real power hitter. Got a guy who's coming up on deck and hit a few home runs. Pitch to Yount. Swung on. There's a high drive. Deep right center field. Back goes Zisk. Still going back. Is there and makes the catch right in front of the 370 sign, right next to the warning track. So Yount hit it hard to deep right center, but Zisk got over, made the catch to wrap this one up. And the Texas Rangers finally get the victory tonight over the Milwaukee Brewers, as Milwaukee just kept coming back. The final score again, the Rangers 8, the Brewers 6, and I'll be back with the final totals in 60 seconds.
If you drive along the highway or make tracks across the snow, even biking across the country, Champion is the way to go. If you go across the skyway or go cruising out to sea, if you're into racing go-kart, Champion is the plug you need. You can't buy a better plug, can't rely on a better plug. For any engine, big or small, Champion sparks them all.
When the time comes for you to get your boat ship-shape from stem to stern, don't forget about those old worn spark plugs. A tune-up with a fresh set of Champion spark plugs can give you quicker start, smoother performance, and more hours per gallon. So before you ship out, tune up with Champions, the world's #1 selling spark plug. Remember,
you can't buy a better plug, can't rely on a better plug. For any engine, big or small, Champion sparks them all. For any engine, big or small, Champion sparks them all.
The totals for the ball game tonight for the Texas Rangers: 8 runs, 13 hits, 2 errors, and 10 men stranded. For the Milwaukee Brewers, 6 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors, and 2 men left on. The winning pitcher, Ferguson Jenkins, now 4-1, and he's won 4 consecutive ball games. And the losing pitcher in his first start of the year, Bill Travers, now 0-1, and a save for Reggie Cleveland, his 2nd save of the year. The game-winning hit tonight will have to go to Toby Harrah, as he got a base hit back in the 4th inning that brought home the Rangers' 7th run. At that time, it was a 7-2 score, but as it turns out, that was the game that proved to be the game winner. A lot of home runs, well, a couple of home runs, a lot of extra base hits of this ball game tonight. A wild one, the Brewers and the Rangers, and they'll do it again tomorrow night at 7:35. Doyle Alexander 3-1 against Larry Sorensen 3-3, and our broadcast time here on the Rangers Network is 7:20. The crowd tonight, 11,622, and that brings the season's total to better than 343,000 and more than 100,000 ahead of last year's pace. John Miller for Bill Merrill and our technical director Jim Birdsong saying we'll see you tomorrow night at 7:20. The final score tonight, the Rangers 8, the Brewers 6. The star of the game is next on the Texas Rangers Baseball Network.
Rangers Baseball was brought to you by Chevrolet and your neighborhood Chevrolet dealers, who are serving up a fresh new slice of apple pie, the new size, quick size, mid-size Malibu. by Champion Spark Plugs. For surer starts and better mileage, treat your car to a fresh set of Champion. No matter what you drive, you can't buy a better plug. And by Anheuser-Busch, brewers of Budweiser, the king of beers. There's no better way to relax than with the easy taste of Budweiser.
Thank you for joining us for this Texas Rangers baseball game on WBAP. We'd like to remind you to stay tuned to WBAP for the best music around with a lot of people who enjoy what they do. It starts every morning, Monday through Saturday, with Don Harris saying, "Good morning, Bright Eyes," and keeping you informed, entertained, and smiling. WBAP 820. No matter where you are or where you're going, we'd sure like for you to join us on WBAP, doing it all for WBA people. America's most versatile mower introduces even more versatility. Now you can convert the Snapper B-Series 21-inch mower into a mulching mower with one easy-to-install attachment. The Snapper Mulcherizer. The Mulcherizer lifts grass clippings into its chamber with a unique rotary blade action when they're cut and recut into tiny bits and blown back onto the lawn. The Mulcherizer, another performance feature from Snapper. No other mower can offer all the quality and performance features of a Snapper all in one mower. It cuts and vacuums, and with the optional Snapperizer and Mulcherizer attachments, it pulverizes leaves and mulches grass clippings. Let Snapper quality work for you and be Snapper fast. See the full line of Snapper lawn and garden equipment at either of these participating Snapper dealers. In Richardson, see Alma Lawnmower at Central Expressway and Campbell Road. In Fort Worth, see Jets Home and Garden Center, 3213 Belle Glade Road.
When you gotta cut your grass and you want to do it fast, Snapper sets you free to be where you want to be.
It's Rangers wrap-up time, brought to you by your 5 Tarrant County Chevy dealers. Do it today in a Century, Uterberg, Vandergrift, Jack Williams, or Bruce Lowry Chevrolet. And by Dr. Pepper. Be an original, be a pepper. And by sugar-free Dr. Pepper, the diet soft drink that tastes fattening, but it's not.
The Texas Rangers tonight score a lot of runs, their second highest run-scoring total of the year. And they score a lot of base hits, 13 base hits, get a home run, 3 doubles, a triple, and despite all that and having as much as a 5-run lead on 2 different occasions, the Rangers almost gave this one away today as the Milwaukee Brewers kept chipping away, and finally in the 9th inning, Len Barker came on in relief of Ferguson Jenkins, and Len just appeared very tight out there tonight. He walked the first man he faced, Cecil Cooper, on 4 pitches. Then Jim Wolford, whom he had with a couple of strikes, hit a check swing bouncer right back to the mound. It looked like a tremendous break for Barker. But then he quickly turned it into a break for the Brewers as he bobbled the ball, then picked it up and overthrew first base. The ball went down the right field line. By the time they recovered it, Cooper had scored, and Wolford was at second, and it was from an 8-4 score. It was all of a sudden 8-5. Then Ogilvy bounced out to second to move Wolford down to third. Toscano struck out on a called third strike, but then Gorman Thomas walked on 4 pitches after Wolford had been brought home from third on a wild pitch by Barker to make it 8-6. And with the walk of Thomas, that brought up Robin Yount as the potential tying run of the ball game. And Billy Hunter brought in at that point Reggie Cleveland, and he got Yount to hit a long drive to deep right.